series, and it goes all time back to 1975, but it hasn't been a very steady series. They've only met each other 15 times, and San Juan trails in this series against Delta
9-6. Delta won 18-0 back in 2020, but since then the Broncos have won the last two, 43-14 a couple years ago and 58-8 this past season. Of course, that 43-34 win looks decent. It looks like a kind of an offensive shootout. It was here on this Delta High School football field as the Rabbits took the heavily favored Broncos right down to the wire.
In fact, Delta led in that game late in the third quarter. The Broncos had to score a couple back-to-back touchdowns plus get a safety to come back and win that game. So Delta looking to do that again here tonight.
The Broncos back on their home field for the first time since that game. We look at this coach for Delta, Colin Christensen, now in his second year. He's 5-3 this season, of course. That's Delta's record. But he is 9-11 overall in his second season. He's a graduate of Delta High School back in 2012 and also a graduate of the University of Utah. Tonight for the Delta Rabbits is Jake Abbott. So like I said, like San Juan, Delta's wins have all been lopsided victories tonight. I did, somewhere in all this massive amount of paperwork I have their schedule, but I may have left that somewhere. I don't actually have their schedule in front of me, so my apologies for that. I had some notes on that, but unfortunately I don't have Delta's schedule right in front of me. I'd happen to just have San Juan's, and we know what they've done this season, but this Delta team has won 9 state championships in their history, but their last one came in 2001, so they feel like they are due, that's for sure. Looking to upset the San Juan Broncos tonight. Just taking a look at this Delta team, Hunt Robinson, the junior, is the quarterback. This is a kind of a hybrid mix offense, kind of a hybrid wing T where they do a lot of running and passing, throw to the guys who run and everything. Okay, thank you, Art Adair, bringing up the schedule for me. So just looking at some of these wins for Delta, 35-0 over Parowan, 48-6 over North San Pete, 41-23 over American Leadership. South Sevier, they beat them 48-6, beat Grand County 34-0, San Juan's opponent last week. Just kind of a couple stars or asterisks, I guess, if you will. Delta lost to Summit Academy, who, of course, San Juan beat by more than 20 points, and Delta losing to them 43-25, so that might be an indicator. And last week, Delta losing to Milford, a consistently strong team in the last few years, in the 1A, 26-20 in a close battle there. So this is a team that's looking to get back on the win tonight.
Yeah, a team that we have to be real aware of. They've got good players. Well. And you know, like you said, they run that wings variation, and they run RPO. You'll see them line up 2 fullbacks behind right guard, right tackle, even a wide receiver right there. Beast. They'll run that and they'll throw on it. It's a heavy run for this season. So you'll see a lot of stats here, but you'll see a lot of passing out of this team. They pass the ball well down the field, and their receivers go get the ball.
Well, I was about to mention junior quarterback
Robinson is 74 of 141, so his completion percentage is not where Parker Snyder's is, but he is 3% passing
for 1,450 yards. But Artie's got 23 touchdowns. He has thrown 7 interceptions.
23 touchdowns, not too shabby in the past.
He knows how to get the ball in his receiver's hands. He knows how to find the gaps in the spacing and read the zone.
And they've got 4 main guys who get it done. And it's interesting, the running backs are the same guys as the receivers. Blade Brando, the senior, is the man we'll be looking at all night. 542 yards rushing for him on 74 carries, 4 touchdowns. Cadence Lovell, the other guy, also a senior, 31 carries, 387 yards for him, and 6 TDs. And then Ty Stefanoff, the junior, 23 carries, 173 yards, and 1 TD. Listen to the same names over here. Leading receiver is actually Chase,
take on the San Juan
475 yards and 10 TDs. The same guys as in the running game.
Turn your attention to center field as we welcome
ties topping off 11 catches, 199 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So they kind of spread out the guys who are running our season as well.
Our nation's colors.
We're going to have a presentation of the colors in the national anthem here tonight. We're going to take a quick break. Continue the pregame show. We'll come back and talk about the San Juan Broncos. Stay with us. It is Friday Night Lights on Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live.
With a changing economy and advancing technology, it's time that marketing and selling of real estate in San Juan County catches up. Four Corners Homes and Property Management is changing the game. Every Four Corners Homes listing includes 3D mapping and virtual tours, professional photos, a digital and global 21st century footprint, and marketing exposure that makes it easy for buyers to find and identify what makes your listing unique. Marketing and exposure sells real estate, and if you want the best, you need Four Corners Homes on your team. Find us at fourcornershomes.net or call 801-404-0058.
Blue Mountain Hospital, we're thrilled to welcome Cade Lyman, Dane Lyman, and Brian Kirk, joining our unparalleled team of healthcare professionals. Blue Mountain Hospital has been setting the standard for rural hospitals since 2009.
Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live. Right here with you tonight once again as we are set for the final regular season game of the year for the visiting San Juan Broncos. And we will shift gears now on the Friday Night Lights pregame show. Talk about the visiting San Juan Broncos. 8-0 on the season coming in tonight. Number one once again in the RPI. The RPI gets a little weird, but with that win last week against Grand, somehow San Juan goes back over the top. South side, maybe they stay the number 2 spot the rest of the year. Likely they'll lose the number 1 spot again, maybe the last week of the season, and by next weekend. It's like 1,000 of a point. Yeah, it's silly. And it's entirely mathematical. And really, the Broncos could care less about it. It changes the time of the game that you play in the afternoon or morning in the state semifinals. But ultimately, you still have to win 3 games to get that state championship. The Broncos have shown they're capable of beating anybody in the 2A ranks this season. This is a team, like I said, 8-0 coming in, 3-0 now in the region. And they have won 33 games in a row. So looking for their 34th in a row here tonight. And as we take a look at it, we did get a chance to talk with San Juan head coach Carson Christensen just a little bit ago. Here's what he has to say as his team gets set to take on the Delta Rabbits here tonight in Delta.
Coach, it's hard to believe it's the last game of the regular season. You guys have just really been putting the wins behind you. I know you're here to take care of business tonight. I know you're focused. I know you're prepared.
Yeah, we're excited about the position for the region championship tonight. And, that's kind of been the goal. Step one, and we've put ourselves in that position, and we're really excited. But but we know we're just going to, we still have to do our job.
This is a team you handled pretty easily the last couple of years, but 3 years ago they ran you right to the wire and come back and win.
Yep, I remember that. And, I think we're 1-2 over here. First couple of years over here, and kind of traded blows. We'd beat them at home, they'd beat us here. We know what we're going to get from Delta. We're really excited to hopefully play 4 quarters of a football game.
Tell me what you know about this Delta team.
They're just tough. They got a new coaching staff last year. They're doing a good job. It's wing tee. It's like a spread wing tee. It's like the best of what Beaver does and the best of what we do. And that provides a challenge to the school itself. The kids just we should blow them out that game. We were up on 10 so we know they're going to go hard.
Do you have to adjust anything defensively to defend this hybrid offense?
Yeah, just little tweaks and adjustments. Kids, our team is
Well, with a 33-game win streak, I know maybe it's easy to get a little cocky. Tell me what the feeling is from your guys here coming in tonight.
Same thing. I mean, I always tell them, I think I've told you, be this close to cocky. Be so confident that you really are cocky. And they run with that. They know they're good, but they have a reason to know that, and it's not just by chance that we're here, and it's by hard work. So I think Florida's fought.
Tonight we pay a tribute to these 16 outstanding young men.
Hopefully tried to win this game 6 months ago.
Yeah. Right on, Coach. We appreciate it. Good luck. Have a fun game tonight, man.
I thank you guys.
This season, when we've been able to meet up with him, there have been times we've missed it, but that's not his fault. And again, you hear him talking about that confidence art in this team, and some people might read it as cockiness. I mean, when you win 33 in a row, you're obviously doing something right. And I think you obviously want to maintain some humility and take care of business. And I think the Broncos did that well, intermixed with their, as Coach Christensen would call it, here about swagger.
That's right, swagger. It's that mentality that you're going to hit them as hard as you can, pick them up after the play. And you've got to have that as a football player to have a great team. So people say, well, I don't think I've seen that because I've dealt with these kids. I've talked to them. I see them all the time down in Blaine. They're humble kids. Humble, sure. For 3 people, that's their goal. But heaven forbids, let's not, let's not try to force that away from kids. They know what they want, and they're going to take it. And so I think they're in a good place now. You want to come out and take care of business, and you don't want to overlook anybody. And I don't think they have. There's only one game I can think of so far this season that Judge, that first series, they had some unfortunate, fumble and a penalty, and that kind of they got and a lot of times they seem to rush it off. So I think you look at any professional or semi-professional or any college team, and the best teams have that swagger.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta have that. You gotta have that. Just in talking, I'm just looking over the schedule here now. And the Broncos have obviously dominated. This has obviously been no team that has challenged them. The late Christian game, the opening game of the season this year, was the only game where I don't think we saw the running clock in that game. Other than that, I think we've had a running clock in the second half every single game. And obviously some major blowouts along the way. And just the attitude and talking with Coach Christensen leading up to this game this week. This is a game tonight that has the potential to maybe be a 4-quarter game, maybe give him a little bit more of a challenge they've had of late. And he relishes that. He looks forward to that. It gives, obviously, the starters a chance to play all 4 quarters, a chance to hone their skills, a chance to really get geared up for the playoffs. And he finds it fun to play in these challenging games. I think some folks would like to be able to walk over their opponents, win a state championship, and call it good, but they want the challenge. They relish the challenge.
Well, he's one of those coaches that he wants to figure out how to beat you. And if he has to make adjustments on the fly or change at halftime, that's what he lives on. He wants to be able to do that. So go out and he just needs to beat the team.
Back and one.
It's going to be the Delta. Their team that can get them everywhere. If you look at the two-way rankings, the two-way stats through these first 8 games, Delta has a lot of kids on the same list that San Juan has in the passing and the rushing and the defensive tackles. I mean, they've got kids on all those lists that are in the top 5, top 10. So they're a team that has some very talented players, and they're 5-3, so they know how to win games.
Yeah.
So this could be a good game.
Well, we haven't looked at the San Juan stats yet. Just recapping here on the season, Parker Snyder just continues to be the man for San Juan behind center. He is completing 72% of his passes on the year. Very impressive. That's 36.89. Now over 2,000 yards passing with 2,182. 30 TD passes on the season to 3 interceptions. Zach Conway in the running game, 102 carries, 1,067 yards, and 21 touchdowns. Parker Snyder has also run the ball quite a lot this year. 64 carries, 585 yards, and 10 TDs. Looking at the receivers, Jake Ivins has shown up this season as a junior. 39 receptions, 569 yards, and he has 7 touchdowns. Brigham Nielsen has 27 catches, 455 yards, 4 touchdowns. Javen Montella leading once again in the touchdown department. He's got 8 TDs, 19 catches for him, and 380 yards on the season. And then Zach Conway out of the backfield, who's been hard to handle for defenses all season long, both in the running and the receiving game. He has 19 catches himself for 375 yards and 5 touchdowns. He has 19 catches, 223 yards, and 3 TDs. It's highly receiving words that he's not going to be back for. Mark Christensen, a major success story for the San Juan Broncos in his 7th year. Now has 59 record. Has led them to their school high periods in a row. And Art, they just continue to that. They don't feel ashamed at all when they demolish teams and just continue to rough shot over the top.
Yeah, and I think that's, that's
And number 5, Marcus Chase.
Talk about Jake Ivins. We talk about Chase. Those kids just kind of explode. Jake Ivins, when you look at the two-way video, is one of the receiving touchdowns tied for 7. It's a big list. They've been listed. They're tied for 14 touchdowns. And there were 7 touchdowns. And then you go to tackles. He is the leading tackler in two-way. 74 tackles now. States on that's obviously a lot better at that. But and then receiving yards, 569 yards. He's 3rd in the two-way. Yep. So just a kid that has had a breakout junior season. And then a kid that we don't talk a lot about, a lot just because, on defense we're trying to call offensive stuff. But Jordan Duke, he's also on that leading tackler list for the two-way. And that is a kid that's had to me, kind of a quiet, presence out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Delta High School football fans,
talk about defense, and we mention this sometimes, a team that's forcing turnovers is a team that's winning games. Both of these teams, 21 takeaways on the season. It's 9 interceptions, 12 fumble recoveries, and for Delta, 10 interceptions, 11 fumble recoveries. So these are two defenses here tonight that are taking the ball away from their opponents. This could be an interesting defensive battle as well.
So they've got some great defensive players. This could be exciting. Hopefully all 4 years. I know the fans will be excited.
Well, and I haven't mentioned Drew Walker yet. He's obviously established himself as the 18 kicker for San Juan as he's come on halfway through the season. And I don't know if we're ever going to get down into a battle in 2A between field goal kickers, but these are 2 kids who are getting it done. Drew Walker for San Juan, a sophomore, having an impressive season. 18 and 21 now for the 18s with 86%. Patrick Harrison is the man for Delta. He's 31 and 38 on the team, 82%. So a couple pretty solid kickers. Adding those points after touchdowns is key. Sometimes winning a loss will come down to the
was just stepping up and booting those balls. So he's definitely got a leg, and he is right now in the two-way, making 23 points, and Trent's right behind him with 21. The amazing thing, we talked about this a little bit on the over, is Trent's only been kicking 4 or 5 games maybe.
Yeah.
And he kicked all season.
Yeah.
Imagine if he would have started as the kicker. I mean, he has just got a leg, and he knows how to find the center of the goalpost.
Well, that's a big part of the game. And, obviously in the NFL and stuff, field goal kickers end up leading scoring in the league. We don't have a whole lot of field goal kicking going on at this level, but it is nice to have a guy who can get it solidly done for you in the PAT department, so the Broncos haven't had to rely on the two-point conversion a whole lot of late. Well, the teams are out at midfield. The captain's out at midfield, getting ready to do the coin toss. We're going to take a quick break. We're minutes away from the kick here tonight at Delta. That'll conclude the Friday Night Lights pregame show. We're going to take a break. We'll come back for the opening kickoff here tonight in what should be a fun one between these two 2A rivals. Stay with us. It's Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live.
In 1957, Lyle and Clea Johnson founded Lyle Northern Electric. What began as a small business in their family home has grown into the prominent local company it is today, a third-generation owned and operated company. Lyle Northern Electric is honored to have served the people of San Juan County for the past 65 years and is a proud supporter of high school sports.
San Juan Credit Union. Your money, your future, your credit union. We have branches available in Blanding, Monticello, and Bluff. Come on down and see us.
Blue Mountain Hospital, we're thrilled to welcome Cade Lyman, Dane Lyman, and Brian Kirk, joining our unparalleled team of healthcare professionals. Blue Mountain Hospital has been setting the standard for rural hospitals since 2009.
All right, I'm just going to do one more, 20 seconds.
Delta High School
Game of the year for the San Juan Broncos tonight against the Rabbits. We welcome you back in. Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live. It's the final regular season Friday Night Lights broadcast of the season for the San Juan Broncos. We are set to get underway, and in a rare situation, the Broncos kicking the ball away to Delta. So the Rabbits winning the toss, electing to receive. I think that's always a wise move against the San Juan Broncos, and the ball is out, and the Broncos recover. And speaking of Trip Palmer, the man recovers the fumble. He gets his first interception last week, and you talk about takeaways in this game, and there it is right off the hop.
Yeah, what a great turn of events for San Juan. You kick the ball off, they fumble it, you get it back. They get to go out and do what they do, but terrible start for the Rabbits.
So the Broncos forced the first turnover of the ball game before the first play from scrimmage, and San Juan has outstanding field position, obviously, to start, as they will begin inside the 35-yard line of the Delta Rabbits. It looks like they're making an adjustment on the clock here before we get underway, so the Broncos will have a chance to figure it out here, take a minute to breathe, and then get the offense underway. They're rocking the Unite in Bright pink still this week, a lot of these guys, so we'll get to that during the list of sponsors, but we're underway offensively for San Juan as they go to the ground on first down, and Zach Conway will rumble it off left tackle for 7 quick yards for the Broncos.
Gets right in there behind big old Cash. Palmer gets his hand on his back and says, "Take me to the promised land, big guy."
And they go hurry up. No surprise there either. Parker Snyder set to go already. From the shotgun, he'll throw to his man out of the back Conway. Little skip arm. Now he tiptoes the sideline. Takes a big hit up high at the 15. And they move the chains as he goes inside the 15 to the 14. And the folks are like that.
The Rabbits, he's one of the defensive studs out there. And so he lays a big hit and doesn't even phase Conway.
And that was from the 18 down to the 14. That was more than 4 yards. I must be looking at the wrong thing. So I'm not sure how many yards that was on the pass. I think it was probably about 10 or 11, but now they go to the ground on first down, and flags fly in there in the middle as Parker Snyder had kept that himself, but it looks like it may be coming back. And I'm just going to throw down 11 yards for that first catch. So Parker Snyder starts 1 of 1 on the night, but looks like the Broncos are going to commit the first foul of the night, and that's going to move them back.
Just a, little option play there. Parker saw the block downfield. He said, hey, I'm going to keep this ball and get upfield. Good read on Parker's part, just an unfortunate penalty there.
So that will move San Juan back out across the 20. That must have been from the 28 to the 14, so I think it was a 14-yard play. And so we'll correct that, and now the Broncos will try to go to the ground, but good penetration by the Delta defense to get back in the backfield and actually drop Conway for a yard loss on his second run of the night.
Stepping off number 38. Delta really got some penetration in there. Unlike most of these down, you're able to wrap up Zach and single
get that out of your way.
So second down and very long. Looks like second down and 20 plus for San Juan. Parker Snyder with the shotgun. We'll take a look. Has some good protection. Goes over the middle and it's intercepted. And again, you talk about the takeaways. And both teams have now traded turnovers here in the early stages. And that one thrown a little bit behind the receiver. And the defender was there for Delta. And it's number 5, Marcus Chase, getting the pick.
Yeah, and like we said in the pregame, this is the Delta team that has athletes. They have a lot of skill and ability, and you can't overlook it. You've got to be perfect on every possession to beat this team. They're fired up at senior night. They get a great honor of their senior cheerleading players. These kids are fired up there for the Rabbits.
And for Marcus Chase, his second interception of the season. And so that gives the ball back to Delta, and they don't suffer any damage after fumbling on the opening kickoff. Now we got players jumping on the San Juan side, and it will be encroachment, it looks like, on the Broncos here. So Delta establishing a little bit of early momentum now after this big takeaway deep in their territory.
Delta's doing a good job at being
physical up front, against the Broncos.
Just doing the sound football. And we'll see what this hybrid MT can pay off because they don't run a lot on it. Last week, 87 rushing yards, 240 passing yards. For an MT team, that should be opposite.
So it's junior quarterback Hunt Robinson working from the shotgun, which is part of that hybrid situation. They'll go to the ground, and the Broncos with a swarm tackle as Yummy gets to stop over here on the near sideline. He scored his first touchdown of his high school career last week. Right here, he swashbuckles a Delta running back.
Yeah, Taylor's able to get there right at the end of the third man up and make the tackle, but 2 missed tackles on tackling out there by the Broncos. They need to correct that. This is a team not going to get to.
Losing a couple yards on that play, making second and about 7
Blade Rando, not surprising. And he got 3 yards for Delta on the first carry of the night. And here is a new man carrying the football. This is going to be 23, Cadence Lovell. He can pick up a couple yards off that tackle. So they really just start to spread them around. It's like the stat sheet indicated. They just use numerous weapons. Don't go with the same guys over and over.
They're really quick. They're trying to get the skin off balance here. Centerton hasn't faced a lot of good teams this year. Teams are calling it. They're just trying to get them off balance.
This range is such a tight knit formation, but the quarterback in the shotgun. And he will do a run pass option here. On the run, he's going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage and brought down. Robinson suffers the first sack of the night as he'll fall down at the 8-yard line, and that's going to bring up 4th down. And it looks like about 7. No, actually all the way back to the original line of scrimmage, 4th down and 10.
Robinson taken down
And that was
in
a
the
loss of
backfield.
7 on that side.
Taking the ball back to the original line of scrimmage, getting outside, and then
fourth down and 10 to go for the first down.
Exactly what you need on defense.
Fourth sack on the season for Conway. And it forces a punt from the Delta end zone. Oh, wow. The Broncos nearly getting it. Brigham Newsom was in the vicinity. Now flag flies in the area where Grant, but they caught the ball. Maybe just marked the football, but they on the way to the end zone, and a punt return for a touchdown. Do we have a flag on the field? No flag on the field, and the Broncos get their first punt return touchdown of the season as Brent Bethea takes it in from around midfield, and a big kick. Looks like it went right from the 45 on the replay. So Brent Bethea goes into the end zone for the first touchdown of the night. What a weird start to this.
Credit that assist to Trace Bell with the final block to get into the end zone. Well returned. Exactly what we saw.
I'll tell you what, 2 turnovers in the first minute of the ball game, or the first couple minutes of the game, and the first touchdown is not scored by the offense, and something we've not seen all season long for the Broncos, a punt return TD by Brent Bethea. So maybe now the game will reset, and we'll turn a little bit more normal. We're going to take a quick break. The San Juan Broncos with the triple ball of PAT, lead it 7-0, 8:32 to go in the first quarter. Stay with us. Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live.
Blue Mountain Hospital is offering in-hospital and at-home dialysis, advanced sleep study clinics, pain management, hip and joint replacements, and cutting-edge radiology, including 3D mammograms. We're thrilled to welcome Cade Lyman, Dane Lyman, and Brian Kirk, joining our unparalleled team of healthcare professionals.
Welcome back live to Delta High School in Delta, Utah. Friday Night Lights tonight on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live. And it's been a fun but strange start to this ball game. Both teams turning the ball over on their first possessions. Not even really a possession for Delta. The opening kickoff. And as they punt the football away after not being able to move out of their own end, Brent Bethea puts together a punt return for a touchdown. The first special teams TD of the year for the San Juan Broncos. So they're not going to get it done on offense, you're going to get it done on special teams here tonight. And it's 7-0 for San Juan.
Kind of see that. They find a way to do it.
And now, Delta with a big kick return across midfield, and only one man to beat. And catching that man is number 20 for San Juan. And that is Brody Bilbo on the tackle, but not before Delta returns it all the way back to the San Juan 27. My goodness.
The ball is going to be
6 interceptions this season. He's also a great special teams player. He's and you see right there. You see he has vision on the field, and he got some great blocks. They ran that little wedge to perfection and just sprung it.
So back to action here, and Delta in business already. They'll hand off on first down, though, and that is not going to go anywhere. A couple of Broncos in on the stop down here and getting up limping a little bit is number 26, Zach Conway. So that's not what San Juan necessarily wants to see. He's in the bottom of the pile. No gain on the play for Cade Sloan.
That is true. He's able to get good off the ball from right to the middle and pick up the pass.
So Delta on second down and 10, following no gain on their own. They send the man in motion and go over the middle and well overthrown. The intended receiver, number 5, Marcus Chase, on the play. Overthrown by Matt Robinson. So he starts the night well of
That's going to be a big problem. They're playing the run of that BT style offense. But like I said here, Coach Christian alluded to in pregame. Delta likes to show the BT and run, and they also really like to know it, which is very common nowadays. Great to try to do that. And they get a lot of passing attempts, so the defensive backs, the safeties are sounding going to have to be out there and read the quarterback.
Here's Delta, a little play action in the backfield, and this time Robinson hits Chase, and he goes all the way down to the 1-yard line. So
So it will be a 28-yard pass, just like that. What a quick strike from Hunt Robinson to Marcus Chase.
And down the field has given the San Juan Broncos this year teams
And it will be first and one for the
You're going to creep over the defense. You're going to play 10 minutes deep. You've got to be clear on that quarterback. And you saw there was a safety leading the running back to the quarterback. And you're not dropping back fast enough to get back in coverage.
So first and goal for Delta from the San Juan 1. And they'll go right back to the ground, and they go to number 40, Blake Brando, and he goes in for the Delta touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown run for Blake Brando, so he's got 3 yards on 2 carries, and just like that, the Delta Rabbits, are back to within 1 point, 7-6. Brando, his 5th touchdown run of the season. And now we'll see the leg of Patrick Harrison, the junior. 82% on the season in the PAT department. We'll see if he can tie it up. And he does shoot. No, I'm sorry, he sliced it wide left. So have a look at that. Trip Palmer takes the lead in the kicking department as Patrick Harrison begins the ninth goal of 1. And so San Juan hangs on to the lead, 7-6. Just a minute after the Broncos score, 7:17 to go in the opening quarter. Delta answers, unable to add the extra point, however, and it's 7-6.
San Juan's going to have to make some quick adjustments.
Making the
I know
score
you can watch
6-7 for San Juan.
you know,
with
emulate,
about 7
simulate,
minutes left
practice
in the first quarter.
what you think they're going to do. But until you go to each offense, run these things all year, all preseason, and they work them out, they run them flawlessly, and they do because there's a lot of moving parts behind the line of scrimmage there with the quarterback, the handoff, double handoff, RPO, read the defense.
Kicking off for Delta is number 13, Patrick Harrison. Back to receive for the Broncos is number...
They're really good about doing that, but they never face an offense that runs that wing team tight set with the tight end in there and that option, and also throws over the top.
We'll see what the Broncos can do on the kickoff here. And they're going to fake the reverse. Now Zach Conway has some blockers. And down the sideline, he's going to try to make a man miss. Did he stay in bounds? It looks like he does. And now he's going up the middle of the field with a stiff arm to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, San Juan. Are you kidding? Back-to-back special teams touchdowns by the San Juan Broncos. No flag on the field. And it's their first special team scores of the year. Zach Conway, I thought he was going to keep going down the sideline, but he wanted to go hit somebody, so he runs right at the guy, knocks it over, and goes all the way the rest of the way down the field. My goodness.
Zach's still going to get some injury. But you can see Zach, he got around into this ball. So he's turned it on, and he just had another year to get to that point. And Zach's hard to bring down when he's in the field.
Wow, so the Bronco offense has not had the opportunity to score yet. A punt return touchdown, now a kick return touchdown. Trip Palmer adds the extra point. He is 2 of 2 on the night, and it is 14-6. 18 seconds after the Delta Rabbits score, the Broncos score, and they've got the touchdown lead back. What a weird start. I did not expect this. That's weird.
Well, this is the thing. Delta comes out and they are fired up. They've got to, like we talked about in the years, sometimes you just got to outlast the storm. You've got to weather it. You've got to absorb it. You've got to let it go off. Go down the touchdown. Let's go back to school again. And now you got to come out and get some defense. Now, the last defensive series, you know, you do that good over the top. So you've got to coach those kids up. Quit peeking in the backfield. You've got to be eyes on guy. If your guy stops and blocks, you've got to watch him because he can block for a second and peel off and get out. And those defensive backs and safeties have got to key off of that. You can't be picking at the running back wanting to come up with a tackle and be a key off. That's the defensive line. That's your linebacker's job. Your job is over the top. So stay home. I know you're playing tight because you like to play the run. But as a defensive back, you've got to have your eyes on. You've got to get your assignment. My guy's the running back. I got to know where he's at all the time. If he's coming out for a pass, I got to be on him.
Speaking of Pete, I got a great look at the Delta Pep Band's music sheets here as we are basically sitting in with the band here in the stands, and they're rocking the house here. So it's a fun atmosphere here tonight at Delta, and it's going to be Tucker Nielsen, the junior, on the return for Delta, getting the Rabbits back near their own 40-yard line. So more good starting field position for this Delta offense. And we'll see them back out on the field here now, trailing San Juan 14-6. I'll tell you, at this rate, almost going to be a 77-76 ball game.
I like how Delta's coming out really fast.
We'll see what they do here on this set of downs. They're going to go right to the ground, and it's the big man, Brando, who runs it out on the near sideline, but he picks up 4 before he goes out of bounds. Right up near midfield, 49 is where they'll spot it.
Carries the ball to the right side. Picking up about 5 yards on the play, putting the ball on the Delta 35-yard line, making it 2nd and 5 to go for
They're going to
Delta.
need that against the wing team throwing the ball. If they can't get there on the wing team and throw the ball, they're going to pressure the quarterback. So cannot make it
Number 52, they pull out of that guard spot, Elijah Levis, huge, and creates a nice hole as they go this time. They pick up, it looks like 7 yards to move the chains, and that time it was number 23, Ames Lovell on the carry. So 7 more yards for him, he's up to 9 on 3 carries. As they put it on the ground and move the chains across midfield to the San Juan
Put the
territory.
ball on the San Juan 49-yard line, 1st and 10 to go for Delta.
early in this game.
Robinson, the junior quarterback, working from the shotgun, will look to throw it. He's got a man open. And it's going to be intercepted in the middle of the field by his counterpart, Parker Snyder. And Snyder has a chance to return. And as long as there's no flag on the field, he will for a touchdown. I mean, I guess if you're going to score return touchdowns, you may as well do it all in one game. The Broncos haven't had this all game and now or all season. And now with a punt return for touchdown, a kick return for touchdown, make it a pick 6 for the quarterback Parker Snyder, and the Broncos are up 20-6. Wow.
There was that wide receiver coming out of the seam, and Parker almost fell down backwards. It looked like that pick kind of twist his body
And the extra point is good, making it 21-6 for San Juan with 6 minutes left in the first quarter.
And then kickoff return, and their speed up front and their return team and their special teams really shows on this because they've got guys, they're running around running 20-30 yards. They still have blockers all the way down the field.
Just a reminder that down at the southwest side of the field, the Tri-Devils have their concession stand.
I'll tell you, what a crazy start for San Juan, up 21-0. Art, did you think when coming here tonight said San Juan was up 21-6 with no offensive touchdowns?
It's been definitely well fun. Championship teams find ways to win, and your offense comes out kind of stutters, but we really haven't had a good shot at the good side of offense yet. No, because of the special teams play. But we'll get it back on track. We're going to give them a couple of reps and we'll get it.
So, wow, so 3 return touchdowns tonight in all facets of the game for San Juan, and now they come away again. The new man returning from Delta, he has to work to hang on to the football in the crowd. Maybe number 20 on the carry. So that must not be correct. 48.
Ball field by number 38,
Ty Stepanoff on the return. And so he gets it across the 35 to the 36.
The Rabbit 35-yard line.
Very good as well.
And the Rabbits will start their drive off with 1st and 10 to go.
They're doing a good job as well.
Yeah, both teams are moving the ball. Special teams, the all-purpose yards are going to be pretty impressive this week. So now they're going to go trips left, although they're spread out quite a bit. Robinson working from the shotgun, sends one of those men in motion. Now they'll fake a handoff, throw to a comeback pattern off of that wide receiver, in and out of the hands of number 4,
intended for Connor Pruitt,
and incomplete.
It was right
Yeah, break for Delta.
He could smell the end zone right there. He knew that that was his big 6. Just let it out. We might get a chance here.
Both teams have thrown an interception in this game. And now it's 2nd down and 10. for Hunt Robinson and the Delta Rabbits from their own 36-yard line. 5:33 to go in the opening quarter, and it's 21-6 for San Juan, but not the way we thought it would happen. 3 return touchdowns for the Broncos. Now hitting the hold nicely is number 21 on the carry. That's the first time we called his name tonight. Roper Crane.
Roper Crane, and he carries it to the outside before taken down by San Juan.
And a great blocker versus something San Juan hasn't seen a lot out of this year out of the defensive front four is those good blocking by an offensive lineman. Usually good enough to get around there, find the space. But this Delta Rabbits line has been able to get to those blocks, get their holes, and hold the Broncos in space.
It's a 16-yard carry for Roper Crane. Obviously moves the chains, and now on a little counter, he's going to hand it to number 38, Stepanov. He will lose a yard on this play. A lot of traffic in the middle there on the San Juan D.
Just like and Delta will lose a couple yards.
I'll get around my guy and attack him. He gets a yard. That's not for sure. That's what they need. They need to be fast. They need to out to maneuver that offensive line because there's some big moves down there on that Delta Rabbit.
Well, that number 52, they've been pulling Elijah Webb. He's huge.
79's a big kid. He moves quick and he gets to his block. That last little around, he's right there sealing in the line.
So second down and long for Delta. They're showing the ability to bounce back, but this time the Broncos will drop him for another loss as Bennett gets in the backfield along with Jake Knight to make a stop. Loss of 3 on the play that time for number 21 Roper.
Making a third down and about 15 yards to go.
A read blitz or design blitz is called from the sideline. Sometimes we're having a read blitz where if you see him do something, we're going to send it. And all he does gets in there, Trace does is follow that pull in the box. And that's what you tell me about. If you see a puller, you follow it. This is one of the first.
Third down and long now for Delta. Big third down for this Rabbit offense. Robinson taking his time, sends a man, now takes the snap of the shotgun. Immediately runs away from the pocket, throws downfield, and it's in and out of the hands of a spinning Marcus Chase. And we had that football, maybe should have brought that in, but unable to secure it.
Robinson scrambles out of the pocket and then throws the ball.
Delta.
It's an intended receiver, number 5, Marcus Chase, but it is no good.
Good throws by flip the field. So right here, a punt, you can get him, punt him down there and not let him get a big return here. Inside the 10 or 20. When you force the field, when they return this thing, one of those things will be good for him.
San Juan doesn't have anybody back to receive. Delta's not indicating the point of formation. They're going to do that truncating punt that the QB can do. They're going for it here on 4th down and 13. Just on their own side of midfield. They also may be trying to get San Juan to jump offside here. Although that would not give them a first down. They're just going to snap the football. Run pass option. It looked like throw over the middle and could have been picked off again. It's actually not a bad thing that it's not because it's a turnover on downs with the incompletion. And the Broncos are going to take the ball back at the Delta 48.
And that's it was a deep front wall. You get 30 yards.
Pass was incomplete to number 78. Ty Stepanov. And Delta will turn it over on downs. Placing the ball on San Juan.
Chances are they're going to gain.
Chances are tonight they're going to return it for a touchdown.
A lot of yards out of the
My goodness. Well, unfortunately for Robinson, he falls to 1 of 6 on the night with that incompletion. The Broncos take it back from the Rabbits. So San Juan back on offense for just the second time tonight. And they'll throw to the far side, complete to Jake Ivins, and that'll be a pickup of 10. First and 10 for San Juan. So that's a good bounce back completion there for Parker Snyder following the interception. That seems like a year ago.
Second and 1 for San Juan.
Actually looks like they only gave him 9 on the play, so it's second down and 1. Now they go to the ground. Conway through the hole, and a first down, except there's a flag on the play. And we'll have to wait and see what this is going to be like. It comes back. Guess I'm going to have to mark off my license. Jake Ivins is 9. So they'll mark it back, and it's going to now be second
talked about this in the post-conference a lot. Tendency to rack up the
San Juan carries the ball with the middle, picking up the Rick Snyder for the first down. However, there is a flag on the play.
So they need to really fundamentally get back to the basics here and figure out what they're doing.
It's taken the officiating for a while to figure out what they can do. This this weird holding change this year. Or maybe they've declined the penalty.
No, trying to figure out where we're going to push down. There you go.
So there you go. So it will actually be a 5-yard run and then a 10-yard penalty. Conway actually gets 5 yards. But the first down is not out. I'm going to give him 5 yards. I have no idea how to score that play. With this new holding rule, but I'm going to do it like that. And now a little miscue here as Parker Snyder throws right side, but Keith Nyman was not expecting that pass, never turned around to look at it. And it falls incomplete behind him. 3rd down and 7.
It looks like he's supposed to come back, go to the stick, 2 yards past the sticks, come back,
Big 3rd down here now for San Juan, and this is rare territory for the Broncos this year. The offense not firing on all cylinders yet here tonight. First drive ended in an interception. And now they're trying to avoid a turnover on downs, and looks like they will. Beautiful screen to Zach Conway, and he's got a lot of space. He goes down to the 14-yard line, and so that play originating from the 46, that's going to be a 32-yard run, 32-yard catch for Conway on the screen.
There was no one everywhere on that side of the field. Everyone bit on it. 5 guys in the backfield, the Rabbits, and no one out there started.
And actually a 34-yard catch for Conway as they spot him down at the, looks like they go in for a touchdown here, and I completely missed that play.
You're just going to have to say it. Huh? Snyder goes in just on the ground.
He wanted to throw it. He pulled up to throw it, and then he realized, hey, there's no one there. All they got 10 yards to go. I'm just going to hoof it in there.
So I think Snyder ticked off about throwing that interception on the first set of downs and just runs it in himself from the 11 this time, or the 12. A 12-yard touchdown run. Wow, weaving his way through the defense, down the sideline, and inside the pylon for the Broncos' 4th touchdown of the night. And they'll try to make it 28-6 with a Trip Palmer PAT right here. This time it's going to get stuffed, though, by the Delta Rabbits. So the kick low, it is blocked, and that ends Trip Palmer's streak tonight. He'll be 3 of 4 on the night. So
Ty Stefanoff gets in there and blocks that kick.
But a 12-yard touchdown run for the quarterback, Parker Snyder, has given San Juan a 27-6 lead. 2:41 to go in the opening quarter. We'll take a break and return to Delta High School. Stay with us. It's Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live.
Compared to the vocational schools of the past, today's career and technical education courses span nearly every industry, including health science, business, digital arts, and computer science. CTE students learn valuable, real-world technical skills with a solid academic foundation while exploring career options or pursuing their passions. Did you know San Juan School District offers 19 CTE pathways for secondary students? To learn more, talk to a school counselor or CTE teacher today.
I tell you, you don't want to miss any kick returns tonight due to commercial breaks. These teams are running the ball all over the field tonight, and Delta will return it across their own 30 to about the 34. So more strong starting field position for this Delta offense.
Yeah, they've got a good kick return. Special teams coach ought to be proud of himself so far in the game because they have returned the ball further than most teams do against San Juan. But I think if you're San Juan, you try to maybe look to, if you're going to return it to 35 every time, maybe kick that ball out of bounds or, you know, kick it to somebody else because they've been doing good.
They've been to the 35 on their own side of midfield or better every return. So here's the Delta offense once again. Junior quarterback Hunt Robinson will hand off, and it goes to Blade Brando, pretty strong name. He picks up about 3 yards.
Elijah Webb, one of those big linemen, again, pulling around that end and gets in Trace Bennett's face and just pushes him down so he can't make that tackle at the line of scrimmage and able to get some yards out of that. I mean, I've been real impressed with how physical these Delta linemen have been.
Yeah, he's been, to me, the most obvious pulling guard. He's been all over the place and has the ability to throw guys down when he gets to the outside of the play. So 2nd down and 7 for Delta. They'll go right back to the ground, and this time it's Cadence Lovell, and he'll pick up 3 more across the 40 to the 42. This will make it 3rd down and a long 3 for Delta.
Yeah, only the third down. They're 0 for 3 so far, but really haven't had a lot of 3rd downs. San Juan's only had 1, and they were 1 of 1. So really, these offenses, they're either turning the ball over or they're scoring or they're punting, but they're not getting a lot of 3rd down positions.
So we're down to under 90 seconds to go now here in this opening quarter. The Broncos up 27-6 now. And another big 3rd down, like you said, Art, for Delta. Trying to move this chain across the 45. They need to get to their own 45 to move the chains. Otherwise, it very likely will be another punt for Delta. However, it looks like Coach Christensen, we got 2 Coach Christensens in this game, just now occurred to me. I don't know if they're related, but they live pretty far apart if they are. But our own Caleb Carr has some relation over here in Delta, so his family's sitting right in front of us right now.
There are buffer zones.
There are buffer zones.
We're actually in the grandstands.
So we don't get hit with popcorn or anything else.
They're taking one for the team tonight.
Well, during this timeout, we'll take one ourselves. Again, it's 27-6 for San Juan as we're nearing the final minute of the opening quarter. Stay with us. It is Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live.
San Juan Credit Union. Your money, your future, your credit union. We have branches available in Blanding, Monticello, and Bluff. Come on down and see us.
Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live as Delta goes to the ground on 3rd down and did not gain anything. So after that timeout, I'm a little surprised, but that one goes for nothing and brings up a 4th down and a long 3, so they face another punting situation.
And smart move here by Delta to come out here and punt this. You're on your side of the 50. You don't want to give San Juan a short field, so make them work for it. Unfortunately, special teams have been kicking your butt tonight, so
yeah,
hopefully they get down there and cover this punt.
And the snap is muffed, but the punter is going to get a beauty away. So that is a real salvage play for Delta, and it rolls down around the 20-yard line of San Juan. So for the first time tonight, the Broncos are going to start with normal field position from their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, Connor Pruitt for Delta. He stays focused on the ball. Sometimes you see those guys, they'll drop the ball, and then they'll kick it, or they'll hit it, or go down to one knee and down the ball. He stays focused, he picks it up, and he gets a boom and punt out of it, and it takes a Delta bounce and goes over there out of bounds on the sideline, which is exactly what they needed to flip the field.
So 1st and 10 for San Juan, technically spotted at the 21. This will probably be, unless there's an incompletion, the final play of the opening quarter. 12 seconds remaining. The Broncos up 27-6.
They're short a player on their formation, so they have to run Trace out.
Trace Bennett comes out late. And they will fake a handoff to Zach Conway and then throw complete to Jake Ivins. That doesn't go for a whole lot of yardage.
No, unfortunately right there, Parker, he wants to throw it, and the way those quick wide receiver passes work is they're quick. That's why they call them a quick wide receiver pass. And when you pump fake that and give that defender time to react his 6-7 yards that he's playing off, it really puts your receiver in a bind there, and just luckily that they catch that ball for some positive yards.
Well, that is indeed the way the quarter ends. So the opening quarter is finally in the books. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for San Juan after the 2-yard pass when we come back for the 2nd quarter. We'll take a break. Stay with us. We'll be back to Delta in just a minute. It is Friday Night Lights with San Juan leading the Rabbits of Delta 27-6, headed into the 2nd quarter on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live.
Life is a series of cherished moments, filled with milestones that define our journey. Moments of love, joy, and shared experiences. Each moment contributes to our story. As each chapter unfolds, our experiences shape us, defining who we are. When it's time to celebrate a life, ensure your loved ones are remembered with the grace, dignity, and individuality they deserve. San Juan Mortuary, celebrating life, honoring memories, transcending tradition.
Delta, Utah, Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live as we are hanging out in a very aromatic breeze here tonight in Delta that's rolling in off the fields of cow patties out here somewhere near us. Enjoying the breeze here tonight. I just had to don the fleece. This is the first time we've, other than at Summit Academy, and we were getting blown off the top of the booth. We're outside tonight, just sitting in the stands among the Delta faithful here tonight. So that's always a precarious situation when you're the visiting team broadcasters. But like Art said, we've got the buffer of Caleb Carr's family sitting in front of us, so they're not going to abuse us too bad, I don't think, here tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully the sound coming through on all of our streaming and broadcasting services. Know that they were off for a minute, but I think we've got that fixed.
So, yeah, always in these kind of levels of broadcasting, you're always dealing with issues throughout, trying to get technical things set up and everything. So thanks for bearing with us as we're underway in the second quarter now. And it looks like the Broncos were called for a penalty that dropped them back 5 yards, maybe a false start. And now flags fly as Parker Snyder races ahead for 7 yards. And actually it was a 5-yard pickup, so it must have been a hold on a run. I didn't see exactly what happened on that opening play, but they did mark him back. It looks like it was 2nd down and 13, and another hold here. So the Broncos aren't struggling penalty-wise here in this first half, though they lead 27-6.
Yeah, you can't dig yourself in a hole. And we've seen throughout the season that it really hasn't affected them if they're 1st or 2nd and 20, because in Coach Christensen's playbook, he's got those plays built in. But you never want to be 2nd and 24, 2nd and 25. It just.
And that should be a replay of 2nd down. Now they switch it back, and yeah, it will be 2nd down and 20 plus here, all the way back inside their own 10-yard line at the 9. So this drive started at the 21, and the Broncos got a couple yards on 1st down, but since then have gone back, say, 18, or no, it's 22 yards. And now face a 2nd down and about 20. Looks like they've got 2nd and 21 on the board. Parker Snyder rolling right. Now will throw back left to Jake Ivins and has his man at midfield. Makes the catch down to the Delta 40.
What a pass. Parker's on a flag.
Yep.
And we're going to get another holding.
So this will be a half the distance. Wow. You could see that was designed, and what a beautiful misdirection as the Broncos ran the play to the right. I love plays like this. Run the ball to the right, go back to the left with the play, and Ivins was wide open for the deep ball, but it's going to come back.
Well, that's just, Keaton's just a player that he continues to run. He's got a route. They say, hey, you're going to run a post, you're going to run a flag, you're going to run a go route, and he's going to run it till the whistle blows, and that's what gives Parker the vision to be able to look downfield when he comes up and there's everyone standing in his face to see him down there. And unfortunately, man, I don't know what ref it is, but he has got a holding bug, and he wants to throw a flag every time.
Yeah, there are some who would say there's holding on every play in football at every level, and they're calling the Broncos for it right now. 3 straight holding penalties, and this one from the 9 will be a 4.5-yard penalty. So this is going to put San Juan back inside their own 5. And now it looks like the referee signaling for Coach Barkley Christensen to get back behind the sideline over there. So obviously getting a little bit intense over there on the far sideline. But so it's a 2nd down and a country mile now. They've got 2nd down and 25 showing. Ball back on the 5-yard line. San Juan's got to get all the way out to the 32 to move the chains. Snyder will throw long again. And, that was nearly caught through the hands of Tyler Pearson. I think the defender jumping in front of him, though he missed the ball, messed up Pearson's motion to be able to catch that.
Yeah, and now you're at 3rd down. Now, if you're San Juan, you don't need this all back on this 3rd down, but you need at least 15 yards here. You need to make a 4th down and manageable, because we all know Coach Christensen is aggressive. He likes to go for it. So you need to be able to get at least a big chunk of this back on this play to be able to be comfortable going with it on 4th down.
So this is a very rare situation for the San Juan offense as they go trips right and one man to the left. So all the receivers out there, they're going to throw back and incomplete, as that was in a bunch of traffic, and I think it went off the back of what was supposed to be a blocker. So a miscue there on that wide receiver screen, or maybe it was supposed to be for Conway on the far side. It never really seemed to develop there.
Yeah, it was for Conway, but he just couldn't get turned around fast enough, and it just came off him. Just didn't have a good way to catch that ball.
So that will be a 4th down and 25 for San Juan at their own 5, and Parker Snyder is going to punt this away. He's going to get a decent punt, which will take a San Juan bounce, and this will flip the field a little bit back to the 43-yard line for the Broncos on the Delta side of midfield. So that gets them out of trouble, but Delta will take the ball here at their own 43.
Yeah, and when you got a punter in your quarterback like Parker, you don't need to do the punt stuff, which, you know, sets you up to keep your offense on. So if you see something, you can run it. But what a booming punt, and you're right, gets a huge Bronco bounce. And really, Delta's in the same starting spot they've been in most of the night.
Friday Night Lights tonight on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live, brought to you in part by Anderson Oliver Title, Utah State University Blanding, and San Juan Health. As Delta takes over, and the little wide receiver around on a handoff here up the middle, and he will be thrown mercilessly down to the turf. And that was number 23 on the carry once again, Cadence Lovell, and no gain on that play, and I think that's generous. No, it looks like he will. Yeah, that's a fairly generous spot, but it will lose 1 yard on the play. So he has 11 yards rushing now on 5 carries.
And just for reference, San Juan now has 50 yards in penalties, and Delta has 0.
Yeah, and that is what we've seen. I think that was very evident on that last possession as the Broncos went straight backwards to their own end zone and were unable to recover. Now the ball is on the ground, and San Juan is going to get the second takeaway, their second takeaway of the night, as they recover the fumble. And it looked like that may have been number 23, Josiah LaPalmer, coming up with it. No. Who do we have?
Zach Conway.
Zach Conway getting the fumble recovery.
And that's one of those Delta, you know, they hand it off to their back, and then they want to hand it to the wingback coming through. So you're having 2 handoffs right there in the matter of seconds. And unfortunately, sometimes you get that and you're running full speed and you're coming back across your body, and the transition there just isn't clean. And that happens more often than not to a lot of teams that just try to, that trickeration right there, those double reverses. And unfortunately, San Juan's right there to jump on that ball. Fortunate for San Juan, unfortunate for Delta.
So the fumble by Delta gives San Juan the ball after having a punt at right where they punted the ball at the Delta 40. And now Snyder will throw complete to Jake Ivins over the right side on a slant, and he goes down inside the Delta 20 to the 18. That's a pickup of 22 yards.
If you think about it, San Juan, they get huge penalties. They get driven back. It's, you know, 4th and 25. They punt the ball. One play, they get it back on the opposing 40. You can't get better than that.
81 yards passing now for Snyder. He's 5 of 28. The Broncos will go to the ground on first down from the 18 and rumble it all the way down near the goal line, down to the 3. It's going to be 1st and goal.
Yeah, Zach Conway with a great middle draw there, just able to get in the space and just make things happen with his legs.
15-yard run. And now 1st and goal for San Juan. And now, was that ball on the ground? It looked like that ball may have been on the ground, and the Broncos had to go down and recover. No, maybe not.
No, just Delta had a great defensive push there by their defensive lineman, and they're able to stop Zach right when he takes the hand off and push him backwards. Great penetration there by Delta's defensive front.
So Conway loses a yard on that play. 2nd down and goal. And now they will go into the end zone. Touchdown, but flag on the field. And so the Broncos will now have a touchdown called back as Parker Snyder rumbles in. And boy, the penalties.
Another flag on the far sideline. Going to get unsportsmanlike over there on.
So the penalties really racking up against San Juan here. So I'm not sure if this is going to be over on the sideline with the coaches or with a player over there. But
there is a holding call initially, and then we have a sideline warning. So it's not going to be unsportsmanlike. Luckily for San Juan, just going to be a sideline warning on the coaches over there, and then they'll mark off the holding. But here's the thing, you know, as a lineman, as a kid out there, and they start calling these holdings, and it feels like everything you do, you're getting penalized for, and you can't do anything right. And sometimes I've made a real good effort the last couple weeks not to say anything about officials, but sometimes officials start seeing things that aren't there.
Yeah. Well, second down and goal still for San Juan, but all the way back out to the 15 now. Snyder's going to fake the pass, now take it himself and rumble down inside the 5, back close to the goal line at the 3. So that'll bring up a third down and goal. I guess this is a way to start getting some stats back. That's another 12-yard run for Snyder, 24 yards for him now on 2 carries. And now San Juan will go hurry up, no surprise there. They will fake the handoff to Conway, and this time Snyder slides in untouched. I don't see any flags on the field. It's a miracle. And the Bronco offense scores again. Back-to-back touchdowns for Parker Snyder, and it's 33-6.
And it's not hard to get in the end zone when you're Parker, when you got big Isaac Warner, number 53, right in front of you, and the defense can't even see you because he's just shadowing you.
It's like a wall.
He's like an eclipse.
Yes, sir. And San Juan scores their 5th touchdown of the night. Make it 33-6. They're going to go for 2 here to try to make this a football-looking score, which they haven't really had to do a lot lately. But now Parker Snyder scrambling, throws into the corner of the end zone, and finds his man down there for the 2-point conversion. I still am not seeing who that was. And I'm going to have to look. It looks like it was Keaton Ivins, just standing back there in the back corner of the end zone, and Snyder located him, so that makes it 35-6 with 8:38 to go in the half. And Art, for a game that started like it did, San Juan is nearing a running clock situation. That's not what I expected and how the game began tonight, but the Broncos have started to rack up the points.
Yeah, in the first quarter, it was boom, boom, boom. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scores, and then since then 1. I mean, it's kind of been a special teams kind of night for San Juan where they really haven't been fluid on offense. That was a good drive, but they're being stalled out by penalties that are really hurting their momentum and their flow. And when you're with a team like San Juan, you've really got to have that flow.
So for Parker Snyder, it's his 11th and 12th rushing touchdowns of the season. The only 2 offensive touchdowns tonight for San Juan. Everything else has been either defensive or special teams. And speaking of special teams, this is the shortest return tonight for Delta, and they get it all the way out to their own 30. So
yeah, San Juan did a better job that time. Taryn Bayless gets down there, makes the tackle, but they did a better job as a group at breaking down and containment, not giving up the big blocks, not giving up the big gaps, and making that and it helps that the returner muff the kickoff as well. So that always helps, gives you an extra 5-6 yards to get down the field.
Yeah, I missed that. So that was a factor, I'm sure. Delta will send a man in motion. Now Robinson, quick release to the far side. Has a man. It's complete, and it's going to go for 7 yards on the far sideline. Let me get a number. Looks like that's 30. Is that 14 or 34 coming up?
14.
14 is Kai Henderson. So I did not have him in the list. We'll put him on there. 14, Kai Henderson, 7-yard reception. That's the first completion in 5 tries for Hunt Robinson. And now they will snap the football on 2nd down and 3, and up the middle with a run. Nowhere to go for Blade Brando. And that makes it 3rd down and a long 3 for Delta. So again, another big 3rd down for the Delta Rabbits at their own 36.
And so far, 3rd down has not been their friend. They haven't been able to find that one play, that one thing to get that 3rd down, pick up that 3rd down. So we'll see. This is a 3rd and manageable position here. You've got 19 plays in your playbook for this right here.
A 3rd down and 3 from their own 36, so not too far away from midfield. Looks like a short distance for us up here in the stands, but we'll see what Robinson can do with it. Takes the snap. They're going to whistle this play down probably for a false start. I assume that's why the secondary stopped for San Juan, but there would have been a man going down to the end zone for a touchdown if that play would have been allowed to continue. But instead, it's going to be coming back, I believe, on a false start.
We're going to see here. They're discussing it lengthy here. We'll see if this goes against San Juan, I may come out. I may go get a sideline warning.
They're going to mark it off on Delta. False start indeed. So clock stopped at 7:27 to go in the first half. It's up to a 35-6 lead now for San Juan in a game that started back and forth. It was 7-6. Both teams traded turnovers in the first couple minutes of this thing, and
this is the first time I've seen Delta really slow down the offense. They're, offensive coordinator, whoever it is, head coach, whoever over here trying to figure out what they can do here on 3rd and long to pick up this first down. It's just huge for Delta right here. You don't want to fall too far down in the game at this point. You want to score.
Yeah, you want to obviously avoid having a running clock to start the 3rd quarter as Robinson throws in the dirt behind his man, and so that will make it 4th down and 8. Following that penalty, it looks like the Rabbits are going to be unable to recover, and really in the passing game, Robinson has just struggled tonight for a guy who is completing 53% of his passes. He's just 2 of 8 now on the night.
And, San Juan's fired up out there. They know that they're in a battle here. Things haven't kind of gone the way the game plan wanted. They're still up on the scoreboard, but they need to be careful. The official grabbing one of them, telling them, hey, you need to settle down after a play, and they need to just keep their composure here.
So Delta lines up to punt from his own 15 is Pruitt. Gets a good punt, and I hope fair catch wasn't signaled. That's going to bounce away from Bethea. He walks away, so he did not signal fair catch. It'll roll down inside the San Juan 30, and the Broncos will start at their own 28. Leading Delta 35-6 here tonight in Delta. Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live. Brought to you in part by Car Shop Auto Body. Colleen Kays, the author of The 7 Dynamos of Organizational Power. Red Mechanicals, San Juan Building Supply, Flights Gymnastics, Northern Electric, Red Mesa Home Health, Emory Telcom, Napa Motor Parts, Creative Floors, and San Juan School District CTE programs. As the Bronco offense back out on the field, 35-6 is the lead, 7:07 left in the opening half. As Snyder will fake the handoff to Zach Conway, and we may as well just call a hold on every play from here on out. This is going to be another hold on San Juan. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, and that's the official that was kind of talking to one of the San Juan kids. And I don't want to say officials get it in their crawl to, but sometimes if you rub somebody wrong, they're going to pay attention to you a little more. And so, he needs to – obviously we don't see what he sees, but, man, I tell you, that's a lot of holding calls.
And I wonder who this was on. It'd be neat to see some replay on this and check some numbers, but they don't really call out the numbers at the high school level. Well, these guys don't have mics anyway, but –
back in the old days, like when I was head coach, you used to be able to get on and rate an official on the UHSA website after your game. And I think they got so much negative reporting, they took that function away. So you can't rate officials anymore.
Well, there you go. You'd be rating it tonight. Hey, you're not a coach. Get off of that.
That's right.
Zach Conway takes the handoff. Meanwhile, he's going to get all that yardage back and more. Oh, my goodness. He knocked that kid's undergarments off as he went around, and what a juke back here at the 40, and he goes all the way into Rabbit territory, down inside the 40 to the 38. What a run by Zach Conway.
Yeah, and where most kids would run out of bounds, Zach's looking to stay in bounds, cut back in. He wants the contact. He wants to be that guy that's going down the field getting 6.
So that play started at the 18. You guys will have to help me figure that out. Oh, yeah, you guys will have to help me figure that out, how long that was. From the 18 out to the 38 across. Now Parker Snyder will go ahead for, looks like 5 yards on a run.
I'm going to say 44, but I'm not a mathematician.
I'm going to just take it and run with it. So 44-yard run.
Someone out there listens.
I need help. That's
someone
for sure.
out there listens is going to correct me on that if I'm wrong.
I have no time while San Juan's running the offense to add up yardage. So here's Parker Snyder on the hurry up, throwing to Trace Bennett. Complete, and Bennett will go untouched down the field for a touchdown, San Juan, and a flag on the field. What a shock.
I'm gonna need more penalty lines on my stat sheet here if this is how they're going to call this game.
This is going to be multiple hundreds of yards of penalties against San Juan here tonight. So that's another touchdown coming back.
Another holding call. Seems to be the flavor of the month over here.
So they'll mark it back 10 yards from apparently the spot of the foul since it happened out ahead. So it's going to be a 4-yard completion, and then they're going to say that the penalty was back here. They don't really know what they're doing, so
no, and
I'll just throw that out there.
They're a little confused, and I mean it's before the line of scrimmage, so it should go from the point of where the infraction was, and then backwards.
And it looks like maybe they will be marking it from the 25-yard line, so that was going to be a 5, 10, let's see. Looks like maybe I don't know. They've marked it down. I have no idea.
It would be a 10-yard penalty.
So a 10-yard penalty no matter what, but second down, and we'll call it 7 here as Zach Conway makes a catch out of the backfield and then goes across the marker to move the chains, but we'll have to wait and see if the play is going to stand.
Looks like we're good. They're moving the chains.
25-yard line is where it goes down to, so that's about a 10-yard pitch and catch from Parker Snyder to Zach Conway, his third catch. And now the Broncos go hurry up. They'll hand off to Conway this time. He'll bounce to the outside, gets 10 yards and more. He's knocked out of bounds after an 11-yard pickup. And that will move the chains once again down inside the 15 to the 14. Nice to be able to call back-to-back plays without a holding penalty. Oh, and now we get a late flag. I knew I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, and it's that same official.
They're just throwing flags out there.
Going to call a face mask.
A face mask. That is about the absolute latest call I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I don't understand that
The players
call.
were back in the huddle.
But he's looking towards San Juan, so I wonder if they're going to call double penalties here. We'll have to, I mean, this is like Jeopardy here.
Well, right now it's 35-6 for San Juan. If they score again, they would, let's see.
Yep. We got a dead ball personal foul against San Juan.
Well, that's what I thought with the late flag coming, is that would be somebody said something. And so they are going to mark it off on San Juan. It's not offsetting at all.
I wonder why they called a penalty against Delta, so that if they're going to mark one off, they got to mark the other off. They got to come back and then back. And I think they're talking about that right now.
Well, they marked it off on San Juan on a 15-yarder, so that's all they've done so far. Now they're going to talk it over. These guys may need this. Is this like the WWF with a tag team? This crew may need to tag up.
Well, I know for sure the one official showed a face mask signal against Delta, and then...
Yeah, obviously that is not correct. So they're going to mark off a personal foul against San Juan for 15 yards. Well, I knew I shouldn't have said anything about calling 2 plays in a row without a penalty, because that's not what happened. So a personal foul on San Juan, and how many yardage of penalties do they have now? It's got to be about 1,000. There's Jake Ivins making a catch, and he'll rumble down inside the 25 to the 23. And that play originating at the 35, it looks like, so a 12-yard gain.
We're at 95 penalty yards for San Juan, 5 for Delta.
Impressive. And now they'll go hurry up, and right up the middle, Zach Conway on a carry. He goes down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line, and that's going to move the chains from the 24-yard line, I believe is where that started. So that's a pickup of 18 for Conway. And it'll be first down and goal for San Juan.
It started about the 23.
And he's going to throw Conway through to, or Parker Snyder through to Trace Bennett. They're going to say that was a complete pass and that he fumbled down on the 1. So he was going into the end zone but fumbled the football. And so it will be a short catch and then a fumble and a recovery for San Juan on the 1. So second down, and that was from the 9. So that is an 8-yard gain, and I don't know that he ever actually firmly caught that, but that's what they ruled. So an 8-yard catch and second down and goal for San Juan. And now the Broncos go in for a touchdown. I knew I shouldn't look down and mark stats. Is that Snyder again?
Nope, Zach Conway got right behind
Conway.
Isaac Warner again, and that's their big pulling guard. They love to run behind him. They just get in there, and he just opens the C, and they get it for, and that's a perfect play that they run all the time right within that 5-yard line, because Isaac's just so good at getting out there on his pole.
So Conway rumbles into the end zone for San Juan's 6th touchdown of the night. Trip Palmer adds the extra point, make it 42-6 for San Juan in a game we thought would be maybe a 4-quarter game here tonight, but the Broncos, after a slow start, got a bunch of special teams play, 2 kick return touchdowns on a punt and a kickoff, and then a defensive touchdown on a pick 6 from Parker Snyder, who has scored 3 touchdowns tonight. And all of a sudden, it's 42-6 for the Broncos with 4:25 still to go in the half. So unless Delta can get some points, the clock will run for the entire second half. Although I dare say it might not run as prolifically as it did last week in Blanding in that second half.
Well, that running clock, there is a method to the running clock.
Yes.
A lot of operators don't run it the way it's designed to. You know, they think we're just going to turn it on and we'll only turn it off for 3 instances, but no, the clock, you know, we'll talk about it when we get there. So there is rules to the running clock.
That's right. And here's a kick for San Juan, kind of a short kick, will be fielded at the 12 and returned up to the 25, 27 it looks like for Delta, and a pack of players in there. So the Broncos' kick coverage has improved with each kickoff here tonight. And it will be 1st and 10 for Delta from their own 27.
I'm going to give a shout out real quick here, Rhett. Maybe a couple, since we're changing sides or possession here. First to the ARL junior high football team, who's watching us tonight on the big screen in the backyard. So shout out to those boys.
There you go, fellas.
And then our #1 super fan, Kaylee Dalton. Shout out to Kaylee.
Kaylee Dalton, good stuff. Yep. She is outstanding, is famous in our parts, that's for sure. Super fan. 1st and 10 for Delta. We are glad you guys are all watching and enjoying tonight. Obviously, maybe we expected a little bit more of a challenge here tonight, but the Broncos just continue to run over their opponents, and now trying to do it on defense, try to get a stop, maybe 2 more here to end this half, but Delta a short gain on 1st down. It'll be 2nd down and 8 after a 2-yard pickup.
Jagger Neves and J.D. Palmer in there on that tackle. And San Juan has really, after the first few series, they've really tightened up on the interior there on their defense. They've really been able to close down some gaps and not giving the big runs like they have. Still giving up a couple yards, but they're not giving up a lot.
And the carry that time was to number 40. I'll have to mark that off in just a second. Deep ball thrown by Robinson, but nobody in the vicinity. He threw that more toward the hash, but his receiver was way over by the sideline, so that ball fell about 10 yards away from his intended receiver, incomplete, and I think maybe this defensive pressure for San Juan Art is just making Robinson look worse than he has all season, I think.
Yeah, they did have some good pressure there. They rushed those 4 guys in there, but he just steps into that a little too quick. He needs to just stay in that pocket a little longer. Plus, if that his receiver is running a post route, there was no one. He had inside position on his defensive man, and there's no one back there. You step inside, run a post, that's wide open.
3rd down and 8, and a big 3rd down for Delta. They throw it over the middle. What a circus catch by Brando, as I thought that ball was knocked away, and now, of course, more late flags. I'm just going to go ahead and say it's on San Juan.
Well, and that's warranted too. You know, you got it when you get up. I know they're both fighting for the ball, but that's offensive position, and you can't get up and shove a kid. If you're a Bronco, you got to have more composure, especially on a night where you're already up to around 100 yards of penalties. It's cost you touchdowns. It's called them back. You've just got to compose yourself and play fundamental football here. You can't get outside yourself here and let ticky-tacky things, so it's going to be an unsportsmanlike.
It was a 20-yard pass for Hunt Robinson. It was his first completion in 3 tries. And complete. Trying to remember who that was. Was it number 40 out of the backfield, Brando? I believe it was. So that's his first catch of the night, I think. And then tack on the personal foul, and Delta is in San Juan territory at the 39. 1st and 10 for the Rabbits, and an empty set here, but now they'll send a man in motion, and it's Cadence Lovell stepping back to stand next to Robinson. And he will keep it himself and get maybe a yard off left tackle.
J.D. Palmer comes off that backside and able to, good closing speed, able to make that tackle before he can get up there past. They give him about 6 inches. But talk about that last play with the unsportsmanlike. Talk about leadership. The minute you know, the kid for San Juan, I won't call him out, has the penalty. Parker Snyder walks right over there, grabs him by the helmet, calms him down, says, hey, we're in this game. I know that's what he's saying. We're in this game. Keep your head composed. Let's go play football. Leadership right there out of Parker Snyder.
Well, we'll see if the San Juan defense can overcome the personal foul. It's a 2nd down and 9 for the Delta offense. Robinson, the southpaw, throws high over the middle, had his man, but unable to pull that in as Marcus Chase in traffic. But, boy, he probably should have had that catch right there, 3rd down and 9.
Oh, he had great position on the DB. Branton Bethea for San Juan went up to it and just couldn't bring it down. But Branton Bethea got his arms around there, you know, not too early, right in time to fight for that ball. He's out of position, but he gets his arms in there, and he's able to do what he can to fight off that pass. But, yeah, just great defensive play there by Branton.
Somehow I just noticed on that pass that Hunt Robinson is a lefty.
Me too. I just noticed it myself.
It's weird. 3rd down and 9 now for the Delta offense from the San Juan 39. Are we getting a timeout here? That's what we're getting. Delta will call a timeout, 2:15 to go in the half. They're driving a little bit, but they face a big 3rd down right here, trying to claw back in this thing. If they're not able to score before halftime, it will be a running clock from the start of the 3rd quarter. We'll come back to Delta. Stay with us. It is Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live.
At Energy Fuels, creating opportunities and participating in the local community is important to us. Thanks to our dedicated employees, we're safely producing critical materials that support cleaner energy sources and a better planet for future generations. Knowing that the youth of today will make great contributions tomorrow, we're proud to sponsor San Juan High School athletics.
Blue Mountain Hospital, we're thrilled to welcome Cade Lyman, Dane Lyman, and Brian Kirk, joining our unparalleled team of healthcare professionals. Blue Mountain Hospital has been setting the standard for rural hospitals since 2009.
Back live to Delta High School, back underway after the Delta timeout, and Robinson throws an interception. Brigham Nielsen goes up to grab it at the 10. After the timeout, they designed a long passing play, threw it into double coverage, and Brigham Nielsen makes him pay right there.
Yeah, Brigham played that ball from the time it left the quarterback's hand. He was in front of the receiver. It was almost like he was the receiver. Perfect, and he goes up and high points it. If you're not watching this on the video, he jumps up in the air and high points this ball, so he's the only one that has the option to come down with it. Just a great defensive play by Brigham.
So for San Juan, that's the 3rd takeaway of the night. We talked about these teams coming in, both with 21 takeaways on the evening. Delta has one tonight as well. That's the 2nd interception thrown by Robinson. And for Brigham Nielsen, he's got a team-leading 6 interceptions now on the night. And San Juan back to offense. Parker Snyder finds Keaton Ivins on the near side. And they will mark him down at the 12-yard line. I thought he had better forward progress than that, but
that's a long throw for Parker.
Yeah, that's a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, you drop back, you look it off. He runs just a 3-step stop, and that's just a long throw. Gives the defense a lot of time to react.
And I've got that as Keaton's first catch of the night. That may be because of penalties tonight. And now a beautiful ball thrown over the middle and a wide open Brigham Nielsen as he'll go across the 30 down at the 32. And so that came from the, looks like 14, so we'll say 18-yard throw for Parker Snyder to Nielsen as they start to spread it around just a little bit and they go hurry up. Parker Snyder throws over the middle, wide open Keaton Ivins. He'll stiff arm a man at midfield and rumble across the 45 down at the Delta 44. What a strong run after the catch right there.
Started at the 33 right here, Rhett.
So the 33, so that's 17, and then 22, 23-yard pass. Now I got to remember who that was to. Keaton Ivins, I think. So 22, and now he'll throw complete again over on the far sideline, and that's Brigham Nielsen again. You'll have to help me on the yardage on that. I got a 23-yard pass to Keaton Ivins, and then who's this one? Brigham Nielsen.
Yep, started at the 44.
I need help figuring that one out.
Okay.
And so it's 1st down and 10 as the Broncos move the chains.
18 yards.
18 yards to Nielsen. So that's back-to-back 18 yards catch. Snyder just dissecting the defense now, throws for 12 yards. They give him 11 on this to Brigham Nielsen again. So Parker Snyder just stringing together completion after completion here as the Broncos just marching it down the field.
And this is what happens when San Juan spreads the field. They got trips right, doubles left, and Parker just good at what he does. And they run good routes for San Juan, and it's just hard to cover them.
Yeah, major spread here. 3 wide right, 2 to the left. Snyder's just going to tuck it up and go right up the middle for 10 yards. And that may move the chains again. Now they still battle. Was the ball on the turf?
Yeah, Delta Rabbit has the ball.
So Delta may have recovered the fumble, and another takeaway they have. So Snyder went for 10 yards but fumbled the football. We might need to see this and take a look on the replay, see if he was down. That's what San Juan is saying, is that he was down. No, I think he rolled over the top of that player and probably lost the football. So that is a fumble on Parker Snyder after a 10-yard run.
Yep.
And again, we talk about the takeaways for these two defenses. And there's the second for Delta. That's a big one. San Juan was driving.
Definitely hard to see from the replay player, but it does look like Parker rolls across, and when we can't tell where he lost the ball at. So obviously the ref saw it. He said he lost it when it was on top of the Delta player, which is a fumble.
And so 1st and 10 for Delta on the takeaway. What a huge takeaway for Delta. Still gives them a chance here to avert the running clock. They'll call a timeout now with 44 seconds left in the half. So they've got a long way to go. They need to score points here to stop the clock from running to start the third quarter. They'll have a 2nd down and 5. I didn't see who carried that. Fortunately, we've got ourselves a little replay here. It was Lovell. So Cadence Lovell on the carry that time for 5 yards. But the big deal for Delta here is just to give themselves a shot, an opportunity to come back in the second half. They need to avoid the running clock, so they'll have to find a way to somehow go 80-plus yards, 85 yards here to score.
And just watching some of the reactions after the plays, Lovell gets up and kind of gives a little elbow there, unseen by anybody else, but on the replay I could see it. There's no love lost here between these two tonight.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Friday Night Lights. It's been a fun one tonight. San Juan has taken it to Delta in this first half. It didn't look like that's the way it was going to go when it started tonight, but we're brought to you tonight in part by Blue Mountain Foods, Energy Fuels, Palmer Sprinkling, Precision Rehab, Lee Contracting, and Desert Rivers Credit Union. 2nd down and 5 for Delta, but the main factor is the clock here. They've got just 44 seconds here in this first half to move the ball 85-plus yards. That ball's incomplete on the turf, so that will stop the clock after just a 7-second tick-off, but it'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Rabbits. And Robinson, Art, just having a tough time in the passing game tonight. That ball really didn't give his receiver a chance there.
Yeah, he really didn't set his feet and get his hips into that throw. That was all arm, and you got to come through your passes if you're a quarterback. You got to set your feet. You got to come through your hips. We may have to play buffer here for these assistant coaches over here because it's getting a little loud.
3rd down and 5. We've got the San Juan coaches here next to us in the stands, and now flags fly. False start on Delta. These refs are going to be out of breath in the second half, man. Working those forearms, too, throwing that laundry.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen a flag wear out in a half, but they may have to hopefully have some extra ones in their locker room because they may have to, get a new set. There have been a lot of flags. I can't remember a game where we've had this many flags.
Referee's locker game, is that a deal where they open up a beautiful lacquered box and have all these flags laying in there? Choose which one you want. Choose your weapon, sir. 5-yard penalty on Delta makes it 3rd down and just about 10 yards, but like I've said, the main factor here is the clock, and, realistically, with a 3rd down and long here, just 2 shots, you got to start moving it down the field in large chunks here, maybe even one big play. Delta desperately looking for points. If they're unable to score before halftime, which is 36 seconds away, they will have a running clock to face to start the third quarter, and just a run right up the middle here. No dice, no gain. And that will bring up a 4th down and 9.
You got a hurt kid down here.
And they've got a man down who looks like he's upset, but Yeah, I thought he was maybe about to get up, but no. I think that may have been Blade Brando on the carry. I've got to confirm that here. Nope, I don't think so. It may have been Stefanoff. Yeah, that was Stefanoff on the carry. Ty Stefanoff with a 0-yard carry, so he remains at -1 yards. And, I mean, we haven't talked a lot about the defense tonight, but we're going to get the halftime stats here shortly, and the San Juan defense has just been lights out against this Delta offense here tonight.
Yeah, they started off a little rough, had some passes over the top. It looked like Delta was going to establish a running game, but San Juan, like we talked about it, at the first couple drives, they're going to have to adjust right now on the fly to this offense because you haven't seen it, you haven't been able to practice against it, and so and it looks like Coach Barron, whoever's helping him over the defensive side, has made those adjustments. They've had some passes over the top, but have been able to defend those. Even the one that was caught was well defended, just a great placed ball. Receiver goes up and catches it, but they've played a lot better after that first couple of series. Now that they've seen it, they can internalize what they're seeing in front of them. The biggest thing that's killing San Juan is penalties.
Yeah, and let me correct myself. Obviously Delta put together a nice scoring drive there, and that first scoring drive they had fairly convincing as they went down the field. But since then, San Juan has really shut them down, and we'll see the stats at halftime here in just a little bit as Delta comes back out on a 4th down. They are going to line up to punt, so it looks like they're going to concede that they will not score here in any more points in this first half unless they fake it here.
And if you fake it here, 30 seconds left inside your own 10, I doubt that's going to be the case.
Negative. And they do just get the punt away. Pruitt this time shanked it. More flags on the field, so we'll wait and see. Nobody contacted the punter, so that can't be the call.
It's going to be probably either a holding or illegal hands to the face, something like that, because it's on that far side. It's usually going to be the killer or the returner, or the defensive back over there that's on the killer.
And that was by far the worst punt of the night for Pruitt, as that one is down around the 15, so that was only about a 20-yard kick. But we'll see what the call is going to be. They may get some extra yardage. It's kind of moot at this point. San Juan is going to get the ball to start the third quarter as well, plus it'll be a running clock in the second half. So Delta's obviously behind the 8 ball here. The refs are going to talk it over for a minute. We'll take a break ourselves, and we'll return to Delta in a moment. San Juan leading the Delta Rabbits 42-6 with 24 seconds left in the first half. Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live. 24 seconds left in the half. San Juan's going to run the offense here. They're starting at their own, at the Delta 25. It would have been the 15. Look at this missile from Parker Snyder. And on one play, San Juan strikes again. A 25-yard touchdown pass to Keaton Ivins in the back corner of the end zone. What a beautiful ball that was from Parker Snyder.
Yeah, and that play before, there was a holding call, but because, it was past, it was more than 10 yards for the first down, San Juan gets the ball after the call, and so then they go down and score on that first play. And I think the coaching staff, I think the players, they're all fired up here with the amount of, and sometimes when you feel like you're playing the officials, you just try to go down and score as many points as you can get.
I can't hear what's being said over here from the coaches, I think, to the crowd. That might be better radio than what we can offer here tonight, Art. Maybe we should give these guys the mic. So that play, or that drive, took just 5 seconds, and the Broncos back on the board, make it 48-6, as they're obviously dominating here tonight.
And the PAT was blocked.
Okay, so I missed that, so I'll mark that down. Sorry, Tripp. But he is now, actually, I think I missed one for him. I'm not sure. I think he's maybe 4 of 6 tonight. I could be wrong on that. That's what I'm going to mark, though. And it is 48-6, like I said, 19 seconds remaining, so it will be a running clock to start the second half and run for the duration. And boy, what can you say about this San Juan team this season, Art? I mean, the Broncos are obviously going to go into the playoffs, and I guess maybe just looking for someone who can compete with them in the playoffs this season.
Yeah, and really the storyline of the first half here is just penalties for San Juan. They've gotten themselves in some situations.
And that's something they've got to clean up for sure.
They've got to be willing. They've got to be better than that in the penalty game. Whether you want to blame it on the refs or not, you've got to put yourself in better positions.
And I thought maybe they were going to kick the ball out of bounds like you said that time, but they don't. And stepping out of bounds apparently is Roper Crane on the return over on the far side. He does get across the 25 to the 26-yard line. So Delta's got 13 seconds to try to make something happen here from their own 26. Down 48-6 to the San Juan Broncos. Friday Night Lights tonight on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live is brought to you in part by Holiday Construction, Quality Auto, San Juan Pharmacy, Canyonlands Tire, Diamond Propane, Knowles Home Furnishings, Red's Ace Hardware, Southeastern Utah 7-Eleven stores, Blue Mountain Hospital, and Furniture Gallery. And we'll see what Delta does here. First down and 10 from their own 26. They will hand it off on first down, right up the gut. And a pickup of 5 for the ball carrier. Let me wait and see who this is. Slowly coming out of the bottom of the pile here. So obviously everybody taking a beating, and that will be the final play of the first half. It was their main man, Blade Brando, carrying the football that time for 5 yards. In a tough first half for Delta. Boy, it really looked like it was going to be an even matchup. The Broncos did score the first touchdown tonight on a punt return. Delta answered immediately, though. But then San Juan returned the ensuing kickoff back for a touchdown, and the onslaught began there and continued through the end of the first half, where we find ourselves with the Broncos leading 48-6 through 24 minutes. And so that's the halftime score. It's going to be a running clock in the second half. We've really gotten used to that of late. We're going to send it back to the studio for a break. We'll come back out with some halftime stats. We'll look at some scores around the area and around 2A football, and also our listening area in Red Rock 92 land. Stay with us. It is Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live.
Hello, my name is David Palmer, and I am the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Blanding.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Stubbs. As a recently elected San Juan County Commissioner,
we are so excited to collaborate with SJC-PAC Coalition and San Juan Counseling to bring parents-empowered messaging to our beautiful Wellness Center pool area.
Parents Empowered is a Utah campaign designed to help parents understand the power they have in reducing the risk of underage drinking.
Survey data tells us that youth perception of risk in San Juan County in all grades went from 83.6% in 2019 to 68.3% in 2021. This means our kids don't understand the damage that alcohol and other drugs can cause on their developing brains.
Did you know that Utah teens reported that parental disapproval is the #1 reason they choose not to drink?
Never assume your children know what your rules, expectations, and attitudes are. Write them down and discuss them with your kids so they understand the reasons behind them.
Bonding is essential to preventing underage drinking. Children are less likely to drink when the parents are involved in their lives and when children and the parents feel close to one another.
Together, we can help build a stronger San Juan County.
Let's do this!
Compared to the vocational schools of the past, today's career and technical education courses span nearly every industry, including health science, business, digital arts, and computer science. CTE students learn valuable, real-world technical skills with a solid academic foundation while exploring career options or pursuing their passions. Did you know San Juan School District offers 19 CTE pathways for secondary students? To learn more, talk to a school counselor or CTE teacher today.
Blue Mountain Hospital. We're thrilled to welcome Cade Lyman, Dane Lyman, and Brian Kirk, joining our unparalleled team of healthcare professionals. Blue Mountain Hospital has been setting the standard for rural hospitals since 2009.
In Delta, Utah, Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live. And at halftime, the San Juan Broncos leading the Delta Rabbits 48-6. So we're going to have a running clock once again in the second half here tonight. And Friday Night Lights is brought to you in part this evening by Dependable Auto Repair, Primary Residential Mortgage, Monson's Quality Meat Processing, Four Corners Electric, San Juan School District Adult Education, Jones and DeMille Engineering, Bradford Tire, San Juan Counseling. We need to point out from San Juan Counseling, San Juan High School's Youth Coalition has been hosting these past couple weeks, Broncos Unite in Bright Prevention Week. For these couple weeks, students have had evening or lunchtime activities focusing on joining the Bronco herd by uniting in Bright as a school to reduce the risk of suicide and drug and alcohol use. Thanks to San Juan Counseling for partnering with the Broncos. Also tonight, Lee Collision Repair and Restoration, Pick-a-Stitch Embroidery and Apparel, San Juan Mortuary, Four Corners Homes, Utah Navajo Health System, Main Street Drug and Boutique, San Juan Credit Union, Tailor-Made Wooden Heritage, and Innovation Medical Group. Going to take a look at some halftime stats now, starting off with the hometown Rabbits. And Hunt Robinson, the junior quarterback, just 3 of 13 in that first half. He came into this game tonight completing 53% of his passes, but 3 of 13 for 55 yards in that first half and 2 interceptions, no TDs for the junior QB. He carried the ball 3 times for -6 yards and also fumbled it 1 time. At least I credited that to him. That was on a kind of a weird handoff scenario. Running backs, though, for Delta, Blade Brando, the senior, 8 carries, 18 yards. He does have 1 of the 3 catches tonight for 20 yards. Cadence Lovell, 6 carries, 16 yards. Ty Stefanoff carried the ball twice for -1 yard. Roper Crane has had some good kick returns tonight. He has 2 carries on offense for 13 yards. Marcus Chase is the senior receiver who caught a 28-yard pass. Number 14, Kai Henderson, has 1 catch for 7 yards. And that is all the first half stats for Delta. Pardon me, I guess Blade Brando, I need to point out, did score the only touchdown tonight for Delta. They ended up with 40 yards rushing in that first half and the 1 TD. So first half offense, and this is all unofficial, of course, but approximately 95 yards of total offense for Delta in that first half. Switching over to San Juan, and Parker Snyder did throw the early interception on the first drive tonight, but he came on strong for the latter half of that first half and ended up 14 of 17 for 209 yards, 1 TD pass, and 1 interception, of course. He carried the ball 5 times for 42 yards. He did score 2 touchdowns, although he did commit a fumble there on his last carry to turn the ball over. So Parker Snyder has turned the ball over both times tonight. San Juan has lost it. Zach Conway carried the ball 9 times for 99 yards and a touchdown. And let's see. I am definitely missing some passing touch. Am I missing some passing touchdowns? Surely I am. because there are, oh no, that's not true, because
runbacks.
We've got 3 touchdowns on. We had a punt return touchdown from Branton Bethea, kick return touchdown from Zach Conway, interception return for a touchdown by Parker Snyder. So, yeah, it helps when you get everybody involved, and that's why we're missing some offensive touchdowns tonight. But the Broncos have obviously been prolific on the scoreboard. In addition to his 99 yards rushing in that first half, Conway has 3 catches for 58 yards tonight. There have been a lot of plays called back tonight, too, that would have given a lot of guys lots of yardage and more touchdowns. I think we've had 2 touchdowns at least called back. But in the receiving crew tonight, Jake Ivins has 4 catches, 45 yards. Keaton Ivins, 3 catches, 51 yards, and a TD. Brigham Nielsen has 3 catches and 47 yards. So that's a look at the first half stats. Again, it's going to be a running clock for the entire second half. It's a 48-6 lead for the San Juan Broncos through 24 minutes. Did you have something you wanted to say, sir?
I just realized Keaton Ivins is back. He's been out.
That's right. Keaton Ivins is back.
Yeah, he's back. I just realized that.
So late in the half.
Both Ivins boys, I was like, hold it.
That's right.
So, yeah, I just realized that he's back.
That's right. And at one point in that first half, you even called Jake Keaton. So I think you somehow subliminally we knew. But, yeah, you're right. I guess we weren't paying attention to that. So it's nice having Keaton back. It's unfortunate we don't have Anthony Doan back. And we haven't called Javen Montella's name tonight either. So I don't know what's going on there. But at any rate, San Juan has the 42-point lead as we head into the second half. We're going to take a break. We'll come back to talk about some scores around the area and in 2A football. Stay with us. It is the Friday Night Lights halftime show on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live.
Hi, my name is Sean Ivins. I'm a rancher, husband, and father. Family bonding and spending time together is really important to me. Research shows that teens who regularly eat as a family 5 to 7 times per week are 33% less likely to commit suicide. Bonding is essential in preventing underage drinking and substance misuse. Children are less likely to drink when their parents are involved in their lives and when children and parents feel close to each other. Take time daily to talk with your kids about their interests and activities and maintain at least a 4-to-1 ratio of positive comments to negative ones. I love calling San Juan County home. It is vital that we work together as families and communities to make this a safe and healthy place for our youth to live. Together, let's do this.
Blue Mountain Hospital. We're thrilled.
San Juan Credit Union. Your money, your future, your credit union. We have branches available in Blanding, Monticello, and Bluff. Come on down and see us.
Hello, my name is David Palmer, and I am the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Blanding.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Stubbs. As a recently elected San Juan County Commissioner,
We are so excited to collaborate with SJC-PAC, Coalition, and San Juan Counseling to bring parents-empowered messaging to our beautiful Wellness Center pool area.
Parents Empowered is a Utah campaign designed to help parents understand the power they have in reducing the risk of underage drinking.
Survey data tells us that youth perception of risk in San Juan County in all grades went from 83.6% in 2019 to 68.3% in 2021. This means our kids don't understand the damage that alcohol and other drugs can cause on their developing brains.
Did you know that Utah teens reported that parental disapproval is the #1 reason they choose not to drink?
Never assume your children know what your rules, expectations, and attitudes are. Write them down and discuss them with your kids so they understand the reasons behind them.
Bonding is essential to preventing underage drinking.
A beautiful evening here tonight. We're actually sitting out in the stands in front of the booth and got a nice setup here. Thanks to Caleb Carr and Cortland Lyman here this evening for hooking us up on the StreamUtah.Live side. It is Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live. Rhett Sifford and Art Adair welcoming you back for the halftime show as the San Juan Broncos lead the Delta Rabbits 48-6 after 24 minutes of play. We're going to continue the halftime show by mentioning some scores from around the area and in the 2A ranks in football. And Art, take it away, sir.
Well, right now you've got Mancus and Dove Creek, two of the powerhouses in 8-man football over there in our listening area. And Mancus is currently winning in the third quarter 24-6. So
up on the defending champs.
Both only have one loss on the season, 5-1 and 4-1. So it'll be interesting to see if that one ends up being, goes Mancus' way, or if Dove Creek can come back. In the 2A ranks in Utah, Summit Academy up 22-7 over Providence Hall. South Summit 41-0 over Judge. Layton Christian 35-0 over ALA. And according to this stat, it says Emory's beating Grand 41-0. So a lot of goose eggs there in the 2A ranks on the boards. In the 1A, a lot of the same. Beaver is up on Milford 25-7. That's always a fun matchup to go to. They haven't been in the same region for a long time or even same classification. But two teams that are that'd be a fun one to be at. 25-7 Beaver right now. And then Gunnison Valley up 10-0 over North Sevier. And as far as 8-man in Utah goes, I can only find a couple of scores, but it looks like Monticello's up 48-0 on Whitehorse, and Cokeville, Wyoming beat Rich 14-0 earlier today.
All right, so that's looking around. I've got another football score, at least at halftime, reported. Montezuma Cortez up on Bayfield 27-18. See if I can find anything else. It's kind of sparse. I've got one more opportunity here, but I think this is just going to, that's Norwood and Sanford. No score reported there. Norwood trying to stay undefeated, try to move to 6-0, although they are not eligible for the RPI standings this year, apparently, so they are not mentioned in that sentence. But we've got some other scores and other sports in our listening area. Of course, the San Juan volleyball team is playing in a tournament at the Sevier Valley Center in Richfield. I think I failed to mention that on the sports report today, even though I knew it was happening. But San Juan sweeping both North San Pete and they lost in straight sets to Emory, so excuse me, but so they went 1-1 tonight. They'll have another game tomorrow and then a playoff game over there. So winning against North San Pete, losing to Emory tonight at the Sevier Valley Center. Montezuma Cortez softball team suffering a 12-2 loss to Rifle earlier this afternoon. And then also in the second game of that doubleheader, 16-14. So tough day today for the Montezuma Cortez softball team, but they swept their opponent yesterday in another doubleheader. So obviously a busy weekend for Montezuma Cortez as they wind down that softball season. But that's all the scores I can find reported right now other than what you mentioned, Art. So I don't see anything else mentioned up on any scoreboards that I can see. So that's just taking a look at some of our local teams, some of the other teams in football around the state of Utah as well. Here tonight in Delta, it's a 48-6 lead for the San Juan Broncos headed into the second half. The Broncos will be receiving the kick here. That'll do it for the Friday Night Lights halftime show as the teams come back out on the field set for the kick here tonight, and it will be a running clock here to start this second half right from the beginning of it. And maybe we can discuss some of those rules in a running clock situation. I think maybe mercifully last week we were a little bit more liberal with the amount of running time that we saw. I think it ran times when it was supposed to not run last week, and so I think it'll be maybe a little bit more honest here tonight with the home team being the team that's down.
Yeah, so digging into the rule book and talking to some, an official friend of ours, it looks like the running clock runs as normal. It's just on a dead ball where typically the clock wouldn't restart. It restarts as soon as the ball is set. So let's say you get a first down, or a dead ball, incomplete pass. As soon as you set the ball, the clock should start back up, where typically it wouldn't start until the snap of the ball. So the clock should run as normal, but it starts on all possessions except for timeouts, scoring plays of that nature. So, some people just play it, run it the whole time.
Well, it's supposed to continue even on an incomplete pass, correct? It'll
yes.
continue to run where normally it would stop.
So it should stop until they set the ball and then start up again.
Right, and then obviously if a
Yep,
okay, I got you. So we'll see how they run it here tonight, but obviously San Juan had a little trouble with the kick right there, but Brigham Nielsen corralled that thing and no return on the kick, and so San Juan will start from their own 23. And the clock is, in fact, running where it normally would not have been running at this point. So first down and 10 for San Juan, up by 42 points to start this second half. It's very difficult for a team that's down to come back in a running clock game. I would love to know the stats if teams have ever come back in that situation. There's a nice pass over the middle, complete to Jake Ivins. That's one of those Ivins kids. I think that should have been a 15-yard game, but they only give him 13. So that's the way San Juan starts on first down. Right back to it are the Broncos. And I'm going to try not to miss a play here, as Snyder will hand off, I believe.
Yes.
To Conway, off right tackle for 3 more yards. And let's see, they've given him a long 3, short 4. 222 yards passing now for Parker Snyder. It was Jake Ivins who caught that football on that first pass. So let me get that written down. And now second down and 7 for San Juan from their own 41. Fake in the backfield, little play action. Now Brigham Nielsen makes a catch at the 40, slips a tackle, goes around a man and down the sideline. Finally a Delta defender shoves him out, but not before he gets down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line, and that started at the 41. Nielsen, a big catch and a nice run after the catch. And boy, we're not very good at math up here, are we?
I'm going to say 45 yards.
45 yards on the pitch and catch. And obviously a first down for San Juan. Now Snyder throws to the left side, complete to Trace Bennett. And I think they apparently rule him down inbounds after a pickup of 7. To me, I thought he got more than that, but it's a 7-yard pickup for Bennett. And that's his second catch tonight. I think I may have sold him short. He had 1 catch for 8 yards. I don't know if I mentioned that in the first half. Here's Snyder handing off to Conway this time, and Conway makes no mistake, rumbles through the traffic into the end zone for a San Juan touchdown, and a very convincing first drive of the second half for San Juan as they go into the end zone from the 8-yard line. So an 8-yard touchdown run for Zach Conway is his second of the night. Moves him over. Actually, he was already over 100 yards on his first carry of the half, and up to 110 with that one.
And typically you get a big lineman up there lead blocking, but that time Trace Bennett got out there and he plowed the field for Zach to get in the end zone.
And 23 rushing touchdowns on the season now for Conway as Trip Palmer adds the extra point.
Nope. I don't know if it was planned that way or if it was just a bad snap, but Parker comes up with the ball
and
hits Trace Bennett out here on a flag. You know, a fire drill, you teach that in special teams. When the snap's bad or the hold's bad, the holder's going to yell fire, and you're going to break off your block, and you're going to get open, and Trace gets open and gets a 2-point conversion there. So he leads blocks for the touchdown and then gets a 2-point conversion.
So they're either practicing the fake or it happened not by accident there, but at any rate, a 2-point conversion. Let me figure this out. 274 passing yards now unofficially for Palmer, and starts the half 3 of 3, so now 17 of 20 on the night. And my guess is that's the last time we're going to see the starters here tonight. That makes it 56-6. Clock is running with 7:40 to go in the third quarter. And so again, it does seem to be a little bit of disparity between how different places run the running clock, but I'm not sure that it shouldn't have been stopped there after the score. I know I've seen that in the past where the clock stops, but it's just running right through here and continuing to run. So this is more like what we saw last week, I think. So I'm a little surprised, but
sometimes you just want to get out of here.
Sometimes you just want to get out of here. We are in the cow patty breeze out here tonight, so I don't think I'll mind that, but it's beautiful here tonight. It is not too cold, not too windy, not near like it was at Summit Academy a few weeks ago when we got blown off the top of that booth. And Delta's going to start 1st and 10 from their own 27. Down 56-6 in what has been all San Juan here since early in the game. It was a slow start. Oh, my goodness. Now the snap eludes the quarterback. Branton Bethay will get back and recover that inside the 5. Sorry, it was Jake Ivins, was it? I thought that was Bethay.
Number 3.
So San Juan will have the ball at the 4. So it's not that guy, huh? Okay, there you go. You're right. Wow, in the world did I see a 0? I am absolutely blind, Art. Thank you for being
it's that
visual
that aroma.
It might be. It might be. I may be high up here.
Off of cow grass.
Yeah, that's
cow
right. Cow grass.
We're not in Colorado.
Careful. So 1st and goal for San Juan inside the 5. Little reverse as Parker Snyder pitches that ball to Tyler Pearson. I think that's going to be a shuttle pass and a 4-yard touchdown catch. We're going to give it as a pass as Pearson registers his first catch of the night, and it's a 4-yard touchdown pass. And the Broncos just pouring it on now, obviously. I mean, if they can't stop you, they can't stop you. So 18 of 21 on the night, 278 yards, and now 2 touchdowns on the night with that one for Parker Snyder. Make it 62-6, and Trip Palmer this time does add the extra point. So he is 5 of 7. Unofficially, I may be shorting him on that. But at any rate, it is 63-6 with 5:03 left in the 3rd quarter. Friday Night Lights tonight brought to you in part by Anderson Oliver Title Insurance Agency, Utah State University Blanding, San Juan Health, Car Shop Auto Body, Colleen Kays, author of the 7 Dynamos of Organizational Power, Red Mechanical, San Juan Building Supply, Flights Gymnastics, Northern Electric, Red Mesa Home Health, Emory Telecom, Napa Motor Parts, Creative Floors, San Juan School District CTE programs, Blue Mountain Foods, Energy Fuels, Palmer Sprinkling, Precision Rehab, Lee Contracting, Desert Rivers Credit Union, Holiday Construction, and Quality Auto. And a huge thanks to all the sponsors who make these broadcasts possible as San Juan kicks the ball away with now 4:10 to go in this 3rd quarter, and the Broncos up 63-6. Here is Roper Crane again with a solid return for the Rabbits across his own 30. Looks like they'll spot that at the 34.
So for those of you back there on the running clock, this is directly out of the National Federation of High School Sports rule book. The clock shall be stopped as per rule 3-4-4, which is basically regular play stoppage in a regular game. In effect, the clock will be stopped as current rules require. However, the clock will start on the ready-to-play signal in all situations until it reaches 21 points. So the clock should be stopped, and it should just be restarted on all situations when the ball is set and ready for play. And that's out of the rule book.
So once again, oh my goodness, and another, this is like a replay of the last play. And Jake Ivins again recovers for the 2nd time in a row on the same exact play. As they snap the ball over the head of Hunt Robinson, and I guess when it's not going your way, it's not going your way, and the Broncos are set up once again deep in Rabbit territory after back-to-back terrible snaps.
And it looks like Coach Christensen has decided his varsity has seen enough as Jagger Neves comes in looks like at quarterback.
So now this is when
they're bringing Jayton in, so Jagger's in there at running back.
So this is when we really have to start working Art because we don't know anybody who's out there. At least I have to start writing stuff on my stat sheet. But that's 5 fumble recoveries on the season now for Jake Ivins. You talk about the 21 takeaways for the Broncos coming into this game, and they've added at least 4 here tonight. I don't know if any more. And my goodness, talking about Jagger Neves, he goes rumbling right into the end zone from 12 yards out or wherever that play initiated. It looks like it was from, we'll give him 14 yards on the run. I assume that was a run to Jagger Neves. So the handoff and a 14-yard touchdown run for Jagger Neves. And it's just getting a little bit ugly here tonight now for Delta. Make it 69-6, and San Juan's going to possibly make this 70 right here. We got a new holder out there for the Broncos.
Young.
Yeah, Nash Young. Is it Nash or Nache?
It's Nash.
Oh, and it looks like it's going to actually be a shank. That's the first shank, and maybe with a new holder out there, not quite on the same page, not in that rhythm that they were all game long, so it's going to stay 69-6. And 90 seconds now to go as the clock just, I believe here tonight, mercifully continues to run in this one at Delta High School. So in a game that we thought was going to be a hard-fought battle here tonight that might go 4 quarters, and I tell you, the Broncos have just been running over opponents for most of this season, and we've seen more running clocks this year than I ever remember seeing before in any season, and just nobody in the 2A South ranks obviously anywhere close to being able to compete with this San Juan offense.
Well, and, you know, Delta came out really playing hard, but it's like you've talked about before. You know, San Juan just has so much stay power. They just have so many athletes and so much, you know, they just keep coming at you and they never slow down. But also 4 turnovers by Delta and then a turnover on downs on one play, a series, really hurts you in any game.
That, by the way, was the 3rd rushing touchdown for Jagger Neves on the season. And, I mean, really it just seems like these last, obviously, the 2 bad snaps really just, I think, just obviously visually deflated Delta if they had any life left. And, you know, both of those last 2 scoring plays just completely untouched.
Yeah, and I thought that Delta did a really good job when they first came out at disguising their run-pass game and getting some passes and started working the ball down the field. But then San Juan adjusted, and the passes weren't working. They were getting broken up. And San Juan also, you know, closed down on the run game. So if you're Delta, you just have a hard time figuring out what you can get to go. And it looks like the clock has run out, so we're going to go to the 4th quarter.
All right, so the 3rd quarter ends, and a 69-6 lead for the San Juan Broncos. I guess we'll go ahead and take a break here, and we'll come back for the 4th quarter. Again, a 69-6 lead for San Juan over the Delta Rabbits. Stay with us. It is Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92, StreamUtah.Live.
Life is a series of cherished moments, filled with milestones that define our journey. Moments of love, joy, and shared experiences. Each moment contributes to our story. As each chapter unfolds, our experiences shape us, defining who we are. When it's time to celebrate a life, ensure your loved ones are remembered with the grace, dignity, and individuality they deserve. San Juan Mortuary, celebrating life, honoring memories, transcending tradition.
Back live to Delta High School, Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live as we get underway in the 4th quarter here tonight. San Juan with a 69-6 lead and a penalty right off the hop here against Delta. So if it's not already bad, it just gets worse for you. And obviously the JV defense on the field now for San Juan for the duration of this one. We're under clearly a running clock rule situation here tonight. And now Delta running the ball for a couple yards, maybe 3. And it looks like that was Cadence Level on the carry. I've got to change my ink color here.
Taryn Bayless and Jagger Neves in there on the tackle for the young Broncos out there.
We'll give 3 yards to Mr. Level there, so he's got 19 on 7 carries tonight.
Although I don't know if you can call them young because most of them are juniors or sophomores, but, you know, I mean, that's the great thing, the great problem to have when you're San Juan is a lot of juniors and seniors.
Yeah. So 2nd down and long for Delta. Robinson's going to look to pass, but he is pressured and sacked. I don't know if it's not going to be a sack. I guess he got back to the line of scrimmage. So it's a 0-yard run. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And it brings up 3rd down and 12 yards now for Delta at their own 34-yard line.
George McNaughton getting in there in the record tally with a tackle. Him and Taryn Bayless.
George McNaught saying McNaughton to you. 3rd down and 12. Yes, we got some fun names coming up that we can use in our play calling, I think. 69-6 is the score for San Juan. Running clock down under 10 minutes now to go of pretty much, I'm going to go ahead and say actual time by the way they're running it, as Robinson connects with his man all the way down to the 30-yard line. That's a big gain. That's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35-yard pitch and catch from Robinson to Marcus Chase. Did I say 35 yards?
Yep.
Goodness, I added up and can't even remember what I said. I love it. 1st and 10, obviously, for Delta as they march into San Juan territory. Now play action in the backfield. Robinson will throw left, complete, probably once again to Chase. I can't tell who that is over there. It was Chase. And that will be a 12-yard pickup. Back-to-back connections with his main senior receiver. So he's 5 of 15 now. We'll get to, well, we have a minute to add up some stats, so I can do that. 90 yards, and that puts him over 100 yards passing. 102 yards passing for Hunt Robinson. I'll have to add up Chase's receiving stats in a minute. Oh, it's student body in motion here. That's awesome. Everybody going in motion, switching up the line, and now they'll fake the handoff and throw to a wide open man on the near side. That's Stefanoff, and he's going to go all the way down inside the 5 to the 2.
Owen Adams saving the touchdown tackle there for the Broncos.
That was an 18-yard pass from Robinson to Stefanoff. As Delta driving it down the field here on the San Juan JVD. They'll hand off to Blade Brando, and he rumbles across the goal line into the end zone for the Rabbits' 2nd touchdown of the night from 2 yards out. That is his 2nd touchdown of the night. Makes it 69-12. And it is the senior's 6th touchdown carry of the season. And we're going to get a chance to see that solid leg of Patrick Harrison once again. Although he did miss his first try tonight, we'll see if he can redeem himself here. It's been a long time since that happened. That was back when there was still some sunlight out here tonight. The kick is up, and that's a beauty. And so he does add the extra point. Patrick Harrison, 1 of 2 on the night, make it 69-13 with 7:20 left of running clock time in this game, and they are just running it down now. So it will be, we'll actually be done with this broadcast in 7 actual minutes, ladies and gentlemen. As we are brought to you tonight in part by San Juan Pharmacy, Canyonlands Tire, Diamond Propane, Knowles Home Furnishings, Red's Ace Hardware, Southeastern Utah 7-Eleven stores, Blue Mountain Hospital, Furniture Gallery, Dependable Auto Repair, Primary Residential Mortgage, Monson's Quality Meat Processing, Four Corners Electric, San Juan School District Adult Education, Jones and DeMille Engineering, Bradford Tire, San Juan Counseling, Lee Collision Repair and Restoration, Pick-a-Stitch Embroidery and Apparel, San Juan Mortuary, Four Corners Homes, Utah Navajo Health System, Main Street Drug and Boutique, San Juan Credit Union, Tailor-Made Wooden Heritage, and Innovation Medical Group. And a huge thanks once again to all the sponsors who have made this broadcast and all our broadcasts throughout the season and throughout these years possible. We couldn't do it without you. We will thank you one final time by name during the close tonight as San Juan receives this ensuing kickoff. A little bit disjointed in the backfield on the fake reverse. And now running into his own man is Stetson Black. And San Juan gets a good east-west return there, and will start at their own 15-yard line. That was funny.
Yeah, they try to run that reverse, and they always set that up, and they always fake it.
Well, the man who Stetson was going to fake to had no idea that he was supposed to take a fake there.
Sometimes when you're running a different crew,
yeah,
you get discombobulated.
And that's all right. I mean, these guys are out to gain some experience, and that's what they're doing. So 1st and 10 for San Juan. They've got a lot of field to work with, starting from their own 15. And here's Jayton Knight with a little run-pass option, or maybe just a play-action quarterback run, and he's going to tumble down across the 20 to the 21, pickup of 7 yards.
A lot of speed there by Jayton. He gets outside one tackle, and, if he had one block down there,
yep,
he had one of those varsity receivers out there blocking.
But another run back tonight for another touchdown, long
6.
touchdown. Second down and 3 as it stands. Ball at the 21, and again, this JV offense is going to take some time, and I know they don't like it, but ultimately their job is to close it down, kneel down on the ball when it becomes evident that they're within reach of running the clock out. Up 69-13 in this one now after that second Delta score. And here's Jayton Knight following his blockers off left tackle. He doesn't gain very much, maybe a yard or 2. It will be 3rd down and 1. We'll give him 2 yards on that carry. So 3rd down and 1. Ball spotted at the 23-yard line. And we're down to 4:10 to go in this ball game, which has been all San Juan obviously here tonight.
This is only the third down for San Juan. They were 2 of 1 previous with 1 punt. So pick up this big 3rd down here for the JV squad. Keaton 75%.
There you go. Jayton Knight with 3 guys spread wide right, 1 to the left. He's going to fake it and keep it himself again, and he'll go down across the 35 at the 36. That is a pickup of 13. That's what they needed to move the chains. I'm guessing we're going to start to see some victory formation here pretty soon.
Well, that was a smart run by Jayton. He probably could have picked up more. He maybe even scores but he slides down, gives himself up so that he knows what Coach Christian wants to do here. He wants just to get this game out of here, move on to next week for the bye week.
I needed to look at the stats for these past 3 games, Art, but I know in the previous 2 games, the San Juan starting offense scored every time they had the ball. Here tonight, they faltered a little bit. Obviously, on the first possession, they threw an interception. They had to punt once,
the punt, the fumble,
couple punts, and so tonight they failed on 4 of those drives. But up until tonight, they had scored every single time they touched the ball. So that ended very quickly, obviously. Here's number 37 carrying the ball here for San Juan, Taryn Bayless, and he picks up 3 yards. But we're down now to just 2:40 left in a running clock game here, and the Delta crew has just been running it here tonight, even when it should probably have been stopped.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to complain about it.
No, sir. 2nd down and 7. San Juan up near their own 40. Play action in the backfield. Knight throws to Jagger Neves. Complete on the left side. He saunters out of bounds near midfield. Looks like they'll spot him at the 48. That's a pickup of about 10 yards. And the first completion tonight for Jayton Knight. He's just been running it. But he throws one here to Jagger Neves, who makes a nice catch. I'm going to have to put that in a strange column, but that's all right. And now 1st and 10 for the Broncos at the 48. Again, this is the JV offense on to close out the game. And that's become a common theme for San Juan this season.
If the game ends right now, San Juan has 120 penalty yards. Most of those have come on the offensive side of the ball to Delta's 15.
Yeah, the one thing maybe they need to clean up tonight, of course, you just never know. You don't want to blame things on an officiating crew, but obviously things are different everywhere you go. And if you're on your own home turf, is the game called exactly the same as it was tonight? I don't know.
Yeah, Taryn Bayless on a nice run there for the Broncos as we come up from 1 minute, 20 seconds left in this game.
That is 7 yards for him on a couple carries, and it looks like we're down probably to the last couple plays of this game. Looks like San Juan's not going to kneel down on it. They're just going to.
This is their victory formation right here.
Okay, so
we'll see. Nope.
They're going to run it. They'll hand to Bayless. I think they're just going to keep handing it off. Bayless will rumble ahead for 6 yards and move the chains for San Juan.
Yeah, San Juan, they have that they don't come up under center and bring the running backs in and every tight formation. They usually down it from the pro set, quarterback in the shotgun, and they like to take that knee, and which, I don't know, you're a statistician. Does that do you give negative yards to the quarterback on that?
I don't. I don't know the official, but now they are kneeling it down. No, I think that, and for instance, the clocking of the ball when you spike it, I don't think that's an incomplete pass either. So I don't know. We'd have to look that up. we're not the wisest folks when it comes to rules, so we'll self-admit that, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a statistician, but you would think if the quarterback takes the snap and then downs it 6 yards back, then
you would
that's
think.
going to be negative 6 yard run.
You would think,
but who knows?
If I'm a quarterback, I'm never down in the ball, if that's the case.
I think that's why most teams come up under center.
There you go.
So they'll lose a half a yard.
Right. Well, that's it. It's a 69-13 final here tonight. The Broncos are 9-0 as they finish the regular season. 34 wins in a row now. Coming into tonight's action, they were tied for the 9th longest active win streak in the entire nation. It continues to be the longest active win streak in the state of Utah, and it continues to add to the school record for San Juan, longest win streak in school history. So another victory tonight for this two-time defending state champion team, looking to add a 3rd in a row this season. And right now it doesn't look like there's anyone standing in their way, but obviously there's a lot more football to be played this season. You've got to win 3 more games, and after tonight you've got a 3-week period of no game action. So we'll see if that affects the Broncos, as they will be set to meet somebody in Blanding on October 27th or 28th in a state quarterfinal matchup. And that, of course, is to be decided next week after final regular season games are in the books for all the rest of the teams in 2A. But that will do it tonight, a 69-13 final. We'll take a break, and we'll come back to begin the postgame show and talk about some final stats and maybe have some closing thoughts and get out of Delta here tonight. It is Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live.
With a changing economy and advancing technology, it's time that marketing and selling of real estate in San Juan County catches up. Four Corners Homes and Property Management is changing the game. Every Four Corners Homes listing includes 3D mapping and virtual tours, professional photos, a digital and global 21st century footprint, and marketing exposure that makes it easy for buyers to find and identify what makes your listing unique. Marketing and exposure sells real estate, and if you want the best, you need Four Corners Homes on your team. Find us at fourcornershomes.net or call 801-404-0058.
Here at Utah Navajo Health System, our mission statement is your quality of life through comprehensive, self-empowered, culturally sensitive, and amazing customer service.
Blue Mountain Hospital, we're thrilled to welcome Cade Lyman, Dane Lyman, and Brian Kirk, joining our unparalleled team of healthcare professionals. Blue Mountain Hospital has been setting the standard for rural hospitals since 2009.
San Juan Credit Union. Your money, your future, your credit union. We have branches available in Blanding, Monticello, and Bluff. Come on down and see us.
I don't think it mattered. Back live to Delta High School one final time here tonight as we open the post-game show Friday Night Lights on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live. Thanks for joining us tonight, folks. We thought this was going to be a tighter battle here tonight, but nobody in the 2A South able to provide any challenge to the San Juan Broncos this year as they just run roughshod through the region. Move to 9-0 on the season and sweep the region 4-0 with a 69-13 win here tonight over the Delta Rabbits. We're going to take a look at the final game stats. We'll start it off with Delta, who ended up with 120 yards passing. Hunt Robinson, the junior, completing 53% of his passes coming in tonight, but had a rough night against the San Juan D. Ended up 6 of 16. Again, for 120 yards and 2 interceptions. He carried the ball 4 times for -6 yards and lost the ball on a fumble tonight as well. In the running game, the Rabbits collected 63 yards all total tonight with both of their touchdowns coming in the running game. Blade Brando was the leading rusher. Not surprisingly, he had 9 carries, 20 yards for the senior and both of the touchdowns. He also had 1 catch tonight for 20 yards. Cadence Lovell had 7 runs, 19 yards tonight. This is all unofficial, of course. Ty Stefanoff, the junior, 3 carries for 17 yards. And Roper Crane, who had a really good night receiving and returning kicks tonight, had just 2 carries on offense for 13 yards. The other man who made some catches tonight was Marcus Chase. I neglected to add his stats up. Let's see, we'll try to just do that real quick. It looks like he had 75 yards receiving on 3 catches, but no touchdowns for him tonight as all the offensive damage was done on the ground for Delta. Taking a look at the San Juan Broncos' final unofficial stats here tonight. Parker Snyder ended 18 of 21, 2 passing touchdowns tonight and 1 interception. Here are his receivers on the night, and it was, let's see, the leading receivers didn't have the touchdowns, actually. Brigham Nielsen caught 4 passes for 92 yards. Jake Ivins had 5 catches, 58 yards. Keaton Ivins coming back after injury. Nice to see him again. 3 catches for 51 yards and a TD tonight. Tyler Pearson had the other touchdown receiving, a 4-yard catch, his only catch of the night. Zach Conway also led Keaton Ivins and Tyler Pearson. He had 3 catches for 58 yards out of the backfield. So all the leading receivers tonight did not score the TDs, interestingly. In the running game, it was 179 total unofficial yards here tonight. Zach Conway led the way with 11 carries, 110 yards, and 2 TDs. Parker Snyder had 5 carries for 42 yards, 2 TDs, and a fumble. And then coming on in relief tonight, Jayton Knight, as the backup QB, had 3 carries, 22 yards. I don't know if I added those in. I may have missed those. So that would put San Juan over 200 yards rushing if that's the case. I can't remember. Maybe I did add them in. And he also completed 1 pass, a 10-yarder to Jagger Neves tonight. Neves, by the way, ran in a touchdown. He had a 14-yard carry late in the game there for a TD. And Taryn Bayless carried the rock 3 times for 13 yards. But the real damage early on was done in special teams and on defense for San Juan. When Parker Snyder threw an interception on the first drive tonight, the special teams responded by returning a punt for the first time this season for a score. That was Branton Bethea. And then when Delta answered to make the score 7-6, Zach Conway took the ensuing kickoff the entire distance for the Broncos' first kick return touchdown of the year. And following that, Parker Snyder proceeded to intercept the pass and return that for a touchdown. So the Broncos got a lot of unsung hero action, that you don't see in the offensive stat page that really started the trend of the lead tonight and really, I think, propelled them to victory here tonight.
Yeah, their special teams was key at key moments when they needed help. They were struggling, like you said, come out, throw an interception, and you just weren't firing all cylinders. Now we saw that they got it going down the stretch, especially that one drive where they just were 10-yard pass, 10-yard pass, 10-yard pass. But special teams, and that's what you need as a championship quality team, is you need other facets of your game. Man, I'm tongue-tied tonight. To step up. And I know it's a lot of the same players that we usually call, like Zach and Parker and those guys getting those interceptions, getting the run back and stuff. But it's coming from, a different level as in special teams, and we haven't really seen that. Like you mentioned, I think their first special teams touchdown this year was tonight. Yep. And so when you're struggling in certain areas, if you can, up your game in others, then that's the mark of a championship team. And we saw that they got their offense going. I know we talked about a lot of those receivers didn't get the touchdowns they usually get, but there were some big plays. There was a lot of plays called back. There was a lot of, things that went on tonight that they need to clean up if you're San Juan. But, a hard-fought game. When things aren't going right, you find other areas that you can make positive out of, and they did that tonight with special teams.
Yeah, you look at a team that rebounds so well, whether it's, and they struggled in the penalty department tonight, as we've said, and that's something, if you face a team that really is truly challenging you, that could become a problem. But just the way this team rebounds, when the offense was struggling, I remember obviously the first possession when they threw the interception, even though they'd started inside, in the red zone, and then on their second possession, I remember they just didn't look real good on offense. They didn't look like they were firing on all cylinders, and obviously struggling in the offensive penalty department was really killing their drives. But just the way they rebound, just the way they duck their head, they put their head down and they just go to the grindstone, and they just keep grinding until they get it right. And late in the in the second quarter, they started looking like the San Juan offense again. And you get help from where you need it, when you need it with this team, and they just bounce back and rebound, and they battle so well. I don't know what team is going to stand up to them this year in the playoffs. A lot of football to go, but I don't know who can challenge this team. They just seem so dominant.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have 2 weeks off now, and as a coach, you hate that. You like it because you can rest your players, get them healthy. The injured guys that are sitting out still, you hopefully get a couple of those back. But at the same time, you need that game week feel. You need that game week experience, and you need to go out and hit people on a Friday night.
Yeah.
2 weeks is a long break for a football team. But I'll tell you, you look at the San Juan offense, and in the third quarter where they put together that drive and they went down, they have to have, you talked about penalties. They can't be thrown off by that. Their offense is so, precise that they have to be able to get in a rhythm and boom, boom, boom down the field with the run, with the pass, with the RPO, whatever it is. And when they start getting those big chunk penalties, that really throws off the rhythm that they want to be in. And you saw it tonight, that it's hard to get out of that. Now, some self-inflicted, maybe some not. But at the end of the day, you still have to go put more points on the board than the other team, and they did a good job of that tonight.
Yeah, and you have to overcome, I think, even when you feel like you're being mistreated in those type of situations, and you have to ultimately not let that affect you. You just have to keep driving on and fight against that adversity as well. So that's part of the game sometimes, and that's sometimes what you got to battle when you go on the road and play in someone else's field. That's part of that home field advantage that you enjoy when you're at home in Blanding.
Well, I know officials, they have, they do trainings with their officials, and the head crews at the UHSAA, they have someone in charge of officiating, and they have people on the sidelines, a designated official that keeps the stats for the officials on the penalties they called, where they called, when they called. And I guarantee you that this game film is going to be looked at somewhere, because you have a huge discrepancy in penalties, 12 against San Juan for 120 yards and 3 against Delta for 15. So anytime you see that, you want to watch a film and say, hey, what can we do a training on, or did we miss some stuff? And I'm sure it'll be looked at. But at the end of the day, you get the W, and that's all that matters.
And also at the end of the day, we're not up here saying that the referees were officiating the game to help Delta win the game at all here tonight. And a lot of it was warranted. Obviously, a lot of it we saw. We sometimes have, just run off at the mouth and say, you're a former coach, so we like to badmouth refs sometimes.
Well, I know that sometimes you just get in a rhythm, and sometimes it just, you just see those things, and officials are human too. But overall, a great game by San Juan outside of a few things. Like you said, you know, you look down the stat sheet here, and you know, you see touchdown, and now we have interceptions, we have fumbles, we have turnovers, we have, you know, punts, and so, you know, but give credit to Delta. They came out and they battled in this game, and they didn't quit. They had some 2 big misfortunate plays here at the snap where it goes over the quarterback's head, and Ivins is there to collect both of those. But, you know, outside of that, they played a really tough physical game. I know the scoreboard doesn't show that, but those kids, give them all the credit in the world. They came out here and for the first quarter gave San Juan a game.
Yeah, and guess what? This is a team that may be coming to Blanding on October 27th to face San Juan in the state quarterfinal game. So obviously you have to wait and see how things turn out, but it's a possibility these 2 teams could meet again in the postseason, and it's a good possibility. Obviously San Juan will see someone that they've seen along the way this season in the postseason. So, and they'll know more what to expect. They'll be better prepared, and San Juan's got to continue to take care of business, and this team just seems to really be able to take care of business game in and game out. So that'll do it for us here tonight. Again, it was a 69-13 final. San Juan Broncos winning their 34th in a row to lead the state of Utah, and tied for the 9th longest active streak in the in the United States nation. And so that is the end of the regular season. It's hard to believe. All the other teams are going to remain in action in Utah next week. The Broncos will have the bye. I know that's not something they relish, and it does look like we've got a late report on the Mancos, Dove Creek, and Mancos having their way with the defending 8-man state champions in the state of Colorado, up 50-14 late in that game, 58-14 now. So they've scored another, and that is a final, 58-14. So Mancos spanking the defending state champions on their home turf, and that's kind of the way I expected that one to go, Art. I mentioned that on the way over, so I can confirm that, but we'll see. Mancos may be in the mix over there in Colorado, so congratulations to the Blue Jays tonight, downing the defending 8-man state champions in the state of Colorado in our Red Rock 92 listening area. So that'll do it for us here tonight. As I think sounds like we got a train going by. That's always fun here at Delta, Utah. And again, a 69-13 final here tonight from Delta. And I normally say we'll see you next weekend, but that's not the case. We're going to see you at the end of the month, ladies and gentlemen, when we're back on the air for the San Juan Broncos in the state quarterfinals. Obviously, opponent, time, date, and everything still to be determined. Stay tuned to Red Rock 92, and we'll keep you updated on the sports report on what's going to be happening with the San Juan Broncos. Got a doubleheader next week coming up. On Wednesday night, it's going to be the Battle of the Drum with Monument Valley at Whitehorse on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live. And then the Monticello Buckaroo is going to be taking on the Norwood Mustangs, and that'll be in Monticello, I believe. I'm not sure about that, and that will be on Thursday night. So you've got Wednesday and Thursday night lights next week on Red Rock 92 and StreamUtah.Live. But for us, we'll be back on the air on October 27th or 28th. And until then, on behalf of Art Adair, well, I need to say some thanks before I close it out. I want to say thanks again to Caleb Carr and Cortland Lyman tonight, running all our stuff for the StreamUtah.Live. Thanks again to all the sponsors, and we'll hit you up by name in a moment. Thanks to all the listeners and the viewers. And now, on behalf of Art Adair, Rhett Sifford saying so long from Delta High School. Have a great night and a great rest of your weekend, high school sports fans. Friday Night Lights is a production of Red Rock 92 Sports and StreamUtah.Live. Tonight's broadcast was brought to you by Anderson Oliver Title Insurance Agency, Utah State University Blanding, San Juan Health, Car Shop Auto Body, Colleen Kays, author of The 7 Dynamos of Organizational Power, Red Mechanical, San Juan Building Supply, Flights Gymnastics, Northern Electric, Red Mesa Home Health, Emory Telcom, Napa Motor Parts, Creative Floors, San Juan School District CTE Programs, Blue Mountain Foods, Energy Fuels, Palmer Sprinkling, Precision Rehab, Lee Contracting, Desert Rivers Credit Union, Holiday Construction, Quality Auto, San Juan Pharmacy, Canyonlands Tire, Diamond Propane, Knowles Home Furnishings, Red's Ace Hardware, Southeastern Utah 7-Eleven Stores, Blue Mountain Hospital, Furniture Gallery, Gallery, Dependable Auto Repair, Primary Residential Mortgage, Monson's Quality Meat Processing, Four Corners Electric, San Juan School District Adult Education, Jones and DeMille Engineering, Bradford Tire, San Juan Counseling, Lee Collision Repair and Restoration, Pick-a-Stitch Embroidery and Apparel, San Juan Mortuary, Four Corners Homes, Utah Navajo Health System, Main Street Drugs, San Juan Credit Union, Tailor-Made Wooden Heritage, and Innovation Medical Group. We're the home of live high school sports coverage in southeastern Utah, Classic Hits Radio, Red Rock 92, and StreamUtah.Live.